This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world. Geek and Sassy.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
'Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had it down.
Welcome to Geek and Sassy. I'm Jennifer Smith, here with the beautiful and wonderful Miranda. Say hi, Miranda.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I think I'm okay.
Yeah?
Are we okay? I don't know.
We're good. You know, we
we are okay. So people are going to listen to that and be like, what, is something wrong between the two of them? No, folks, we're fine. I mean, like, overall, like, am I okay? And I don't know, you know.
Well, we did get to hang out last night. And,
we did.
Partake of a little bit of alcohol. So, that
it didn't,
was
honestly,
fun.
what I got did not taste like alcohol. Like, it was good.
Well, alcohol's good, though, right?
Well, I mean, it is, but you know how, like what I tried Susan's, and hers, she was like, I got the Hunch Punch mead, and I tasted it, I was like, very meaty. Like, I know that. Like, I didn't have any other way to describe it. Uh-huh. It was very, like, pungent, and, like, I'm not downing this, because somebody else may really like it, but Susan was like, well, I'm going to finish it, because I bought it, but none of us really liked it.
Yeah, I didn't even taste it.
Bianca and I did, and both of us did that. Have you ever had an alcohol that you don't know why, but your whole body just kind of like...
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
it's
what
called
I did.
Jaeger. Yeah.
Oh, that's how Caden was made. But anyway. Yeah, that's what that
I'm
means.
sure lots of children were made that way.
No, I am telling you, Caden was a lot of Jaeger bombs. I know for a fact, because when the doctor was like, we're pretty sure you got pregnant between this date and this date. And I'm like, well, when I started getting violently ill, it would mean it would be this day. So, yeah. Jaeger.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You should
and
definitely
now I
tell him
stand
that.
In the face of Red Bull or Jaeger or any of it.
No. You can't smell it. Can't even. I can barely say it without wanting to puke everywhere.
I used to really like it. It did not make me, like, you know, people usually get sick from drinking it, and I never did. Like, it didn't bother me that way, and I really actually liked it. Which is funny, because I hate licorice, and I hate root beer, and taste-wise comparison and smell-wise, that's what you would think of. It's like black licorice or root beer.
Yes.
And I hate both of them. Have my entire life. But
that is odd.
Yeah.
I think there's something about the way that you have to chill it, and it makes it taste better.
It does
not
have to be
good,
cold,
but just
like super cold.
Super cold, yeah. I don't know. It makes it go down easier.
It does. Maybe that's what the Red Bull, and you know, you do mix the Red Bull with it, so maybe that flavor-wise, you know,
tones down the licorice.
How it tastes palate-wise, like how you. In those receptors there, maybe it hits different because, you know, it's not just straight Jaeger. It's not like just doing a shot of Jaeger.
But we got to have girls' night, and I think it was much needed, at least on my end. Okay. So, yeah, I think that I got quite a bit more inebriated than the others of our group.
It's one of those, like, I didn't know I needed it, and then we went, and I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
Although, none of us were the guy that had to be carted away by his buddies before 7.
Yeah, that dude tapped out early. I don't know how long he had been drinking.
45 because I was getting ready to leave, and they're packing him, and then the one guy in their group you asked him because he was like, "Have a good night, ladies," and he was 3 sheets to the wind because he didn't understand anything I was saying to him. But I thought it was funny, and that's why I kept it going for a minute because I was like, "Oh, this is too funny." You know, when you can mess with somebody that's really drunk and you don't know them, so it's even better. But like, you ask him, you're like, "So what are you guys going to do now?" As they're carting off the one guy that can barely stand on his own. And he's, "Oh, we're going to the movies," and I'm thinking to myself, "Good luck getting him in the movies."
Yeah, this is not a smart idea. I'm like, what are y'all going to go see? I don't know, what do you say, Bruce Willis movie?
Like some Bruce Willis movie. And I was like, oh yeah, he essentially kills everybody because they like murder his family and shit. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, no, really? It's like John Wick, but with Bruce Willis. And he's like, okay. And he's like grinning really like ridiculously the whole time.
I think he just threw him off, like having a table full of girls talk to him. I don't know. Well, we didn't kind of pay attention to the fact that anybody was around us, and we just talked about our own thing all night. Yeah, we
so
sure
I'm pretty
did.
sure there was some like boob conversation that they got, which was not tacky, folks. It was like we were talking about like, oh, practical. I got a new bra and it actually fit, and then we started talking about bras that you have to wear when you work out, and I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna work for me, and it just kind of normal female talk. There was nothing trashy about it, but kind of didn't care that there were drunk, inebriated people around us because like. Going home to our spouses at the end of the night. It's
fucking girls' night. We can say what we want.
Right, it's girls' night, and we're going home to our husbands at the end of girls' night. So, like, what does it matter that I talk about this bra that sucks really badly?
And they can move if they don't like it, but I'm pretty sure they probably liked it.
They were super loud outdoor Jenga. Susan was not digging the outdoor Jenga.
No, she was not. All right. More girls' night talk later, perhaps.
Possibly.
So we we had our super awesome award show last time.
We did.
So we didn't get to do our regular segments. So
we brief did.
Yeah, we did a little bit. Sorry, I can hear my son in there talking. It doesn't matter what I'm doing at any point. It just matters that Ethan speaks a voice at every opportunity.
And my son does too. But I don't remember. Did Ethan have tubes at one point too?
No. He never had problems with his ears.
Oh, he didn't? Okay.
Mm-mm.
See, they've told me, they're like, yeah, so when he does that, that's just going to be part of it, and you got to bring him back in. And I'm like, well, he does it all the time.
I wish there was an excuse. He's just loud as fuck.
I think that's just called being a kid, too, to some
You think
aspects.
so? I don't know. He's the loudest person I know. And I know some loud mouth bitches.
We do know some really loud people.
Anyway, sorry.
It happens.
What have you been streaming?
So I actually was sitting here thinking about that because I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about the show. And then I kind of told them about it last time. So I was like, damn, what else have I been watching? Because I don't know, for like the last 2 weeks, I've gone through this thing where I just like, I don't want to turn on the TV. I don't know why. Like,
that's weird.
Like, yeah. I mean, I growing up was not a huge TV person. And then I became a huge TV person. I mean, I liked TV and I had certain shows I watched and things like that, but it like wasn't at the forefront of my mind, kind of like it is now. And then when I got pregnant with Caden, because I got put on bed rest a couple of different times, I would like get tired and I'd read all my books. And of course, because I'm on bed rest, I can't take myself to the library or anything. So I would run out of books, and then I got into TV really big at that time because we had cable. I think I've said this before. We had cable off and on growing up. I think 2 times that I truly remember, possibly 3. And so when Jerry and I first got married and then we first got pregnant, we had cable. So we had like all the channels, and I was like, what? So then I like really got into TV, and then, I went back to work for a good bit of time. And when I went back to work, that nightly TV time, once Caden was in bed, that was my time. That was my time. That was my thing. But for the past 2 weeks, and I do this every now and then, it's not that I am not enjoying anything that's on. I just don't want to watch TV. So I did start, and I don't know if you started it. It's the show, and now it's going to drive me crazy that I can't remember what it is. So I guess I'm going to go to IMDb real quick. Because I can tell you the actor's name. So.
See if I can guess it.
Okay, so it's the Fanning girl.
Oh, yes. The Alienist.
The Alienist. Yes, you're good.
Yes.
So I have been watching The Alienist, and I highly recommend that, but I will say it's not for the faint of heart. So if you don't do like hospital dramas or crime dramas or any of that because there's like blood and gore and like things that happen, then you cannot watch this. And if you don't like sexual things, I will just say, like, I'm usually one that's like, why do I have to tell people that there's a trigger warning? But I'm trying to be more mindful of that. And I would definitely say that this show could ultimately trigger some people very badly. It's murder. The people that are being murdered are young. This does not give anything away, but they're young boys that essentially back in, I always get my time frames bad. So kind of like around the Jack the Ripper time frame as well, but this is in America. Mm-hmm. So during that time frame, there were brothels, right? Where they were also brothels where young street urchin boys worked.
Okay.
And they would dress as girls and they would act as girls. And they even flat out several times throughout the show, they asked the kid, like, why do you do this? And he's like, he essentially says, I have a place to live. I have food. I have people that take care of me. And he's like, people come to us because we do things that girls won't.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh my God. So, I mean,
what, for example?
They never say. Like, well, they may later in the season, but when they ask him, he just kind of grins and says, well, we'll do things that girls won't. And I'm like, this is kind of tacky. So essentially, the men that come to these brothels, some of them are well-known, highfalutin people, but they keep it quiet. But someone is murdering these young men and leaving them in a very tacky manner, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And their eyes are always missing. So the alienist essentially is what they used to call someone before the times of, and they give you the description before every episode. But so kind of like thinking in Criminal Minds manner, like those behavioral analysis, those criminal behavioral analysis.
Gotcha.
People.
Okay.
Right. They used to be referred to as alienists.
Huh.
You know, when they first started, and this is a time where it's a new concept. So this doctor, it's a new concept, but he's very trusted. And so he's been brought in to study this. And then, the young lady that is assisting them, that is played by Dakota Fanning, she is actually the secretary for the police department, who she wants to do more. But in that time, that was not something that women did. You know, very few women worked in general. And when they did, like, she gets sexually harassed, like, daily. But she gives it, like, right back to him. And I think that's, like, because one of the officers, he's just repugnant. Like, I completely hate him. But he made, like, a wisecrack, and she just looked at him, and she was like, well, I'm sure it would be too small for me anyway. Like, she just gave it right back to him, and she does. Anytime they have that, like, locker room talk, she just, like, turns around, looks at him, like, and then she'll close the door, and she'll, like, roll her eyes. Like, she's completely disgusted by it, but she's, like, you know, whatever, you guys are shitheads anyway. So she's helping them because she realizes a pattern, and she's seeing things, and she wants to help more, and she wants to do more. Like, she doesn't want to just be the secretary behind the desk. So she's kind of like their inside girl. And they have found a way to agree for the police department to have her work with them. So they are trying essentially to figure out who the murderer is and why he is doing this. Because obviously leaving the boys like he is, it's a, you know, it's a calling card essentially. It's, you know, his signature. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting to say the least. And I just really liked that time period overall. It was very fascinating.
What channel is this coming on?
I am completely...
Is it FX?
No, it's not FX. I think it's TNT.
TNT, really?
Yes. Yes, TNT, which they've been doing shows. Yeah, Alienist is on TNT. And it's getting, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 57, which highly surprised me, but IMDb, which is where people like you and I would go and share, it's a 7 out of 10. But audience average on Rotten Tomatoes is 80%.
Huh.
But like I said, it's definitely one that would not be for everyone.
Okay.
It's really entertaining, though. And it's Luke Evans, and the guy that plays the doctor, Daniel Bruhl. So he looks, so he looks like someone else. So like the first episode, I had to look up who he was because he looks like, and I still have yet to figure out who it is I think he looks like. But he's somebody that we're used to watching, and I had to look up and see who he is. And then Luke Evans is in it, who is amazing, and Dakota Fanning, and then there's one little boy that they talk to a lot, and he's really good. So
it's so interesting. Those kind of caliber actors on a TNT show.
Well, you see that a lot more now,
right?
Actors doing television, and I'm kind of glad because. Yeah, it's great when you can see them in an hour and 45 minute, 2 hour and 45 minute movie and you get amazed and they become quickly a favorite actor, but then you get a whole season with them or a couple of seasons with them and you just get to like see kind of like the depth of what they can do.
Yeah, I'm totally glad that there's way more of a crossover now than there ever has been.
There really, which kind of like leads me to, TNT's been doing this for a while, but the other show I've been really watching a lot of, and it's Anna Paquin is the main character, and she's a detective in this like small town, and she is trying to solve this disappearance of, once again, it's kind of funny to me that TNT and WGN are doing something so parallel, if that makes sense, because this young man that is missing, he's like the star of the hockey team. He was the shit for this town, but secretly he's gay. And he would, like, people knew and they would make fun of because he would go buy lipstick and nail polish and he would dress himself. And I guess he was going and hanging out like somewhere else in the evenings where that was like, okay. And he's missing. And the place that he was last seen that has like his bike and they're pretty sure that's where he went missing from, there's these magazine torn out pieces of like just breasts or just a woman's smile or, thighs and they're left all over the crime scene. And something clearly happened to her when she was a kid because it keeps having flashbacks of that where her dad either passed or went missing. He was a detective as well, very highly respected detective, for the same place. And after he passed, she had this little place that people would leave her notes. Somebody would leave her notes, and they would always be signed Dad. And I guess come to find out, it was her mom kept telling her, like, it's not your dad. It's not your dad. Well, now there are notes being left for her about this murder in the same place, just like before when her dad went missing. Now she's putting all this together and realizing that the case her dad worked years ago that he went either passed or went missing, because I can't honestly remember right now, right after he worked that, is somehow linked to what she's working now. And it's on WGN, which, I talked about that in our group, and it was either Garner or Tim were like, I didn't realize that WGN even made shows.
What's the name of that one?
Bellevue.
Okay.
And it's the name of the town. It's really good. It's another kind of, like I said, it's very parallel, but it's now time period. I just think it's interesting that both television stations or both venues have decided to kind of, play on, or not play on, but use transgender, cross-dressing, those kind of tones to both shows that are, airing at the exact same time.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see a lot more of that, honestly. As people get more familiar and comfortable with seeing stuff like that, I just think it's going to be more prevalent in entertainment, and I think it should be.
I think it's the only way that you're going to make certain people understand things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, begin to like shine light on things like that is if you put it in TV shows, kind of like, and I know this is a completely different concept, but child abuse. I actually was talking about this with my mom tonight. I was like, because Caden asked for a skateboard is how this all roundabout. And you guys are used to my stories going other places.
Sideways.
But roundabout, he would picked up a skateboard. He's like, oh, Mom. And I told my mom, I was like, I can't buy him that skateboard because all I can see is when I was little, I had to be taken to the hospital because they thought my appendix was rupturing. And I had bruises like all up and down my legs because I had been given inline skates for my birthday. If you know me, you know how bad of an idea that is. So I remember them asking my mom to leave the room, if she would leave the room so they could talk to me. And of course, my mom at the time, she worked for DHR. My dad was a police officer. She was like, sure. Because she knew, like, no big deal. And they started questioning me about my bruises. So all I can see when Caden asked for the skateboard but it's like I told my mom, I said, I didn't grow up sheltered, but I grew up in a house where that wasn't something that I worried about. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't something that I had to think about because my parents weren't abusive parents. So when TV started, having a lot of shows where children were being abused in the show, mm-hmm. or they were going through a case because the child had been abused, because a lot of people didn't understand that child abuse was a thing. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of like that. I know it's a completely different situation, but until you bring it to a media that some people watch news, some people listen to podcasts, some people watch TV. Until you bring it to whatever media it is that people follow the most, it's not going to be really maybe thought about and understood like how prevalent it should be, mm-hmm. and how much it should be discussed. I guess my roundabout way of getting to that.
That's good though. Yeah. I'm really definitely interested in both of those shows. So, I mean, you said you haven't been watching that much TV, but you're doing good though.
I'm watching two. I'm at least watching two television shows that air once a week. So, I mean, I'm doing something. There was another one that I looked at starting, but I don't.
I think
because I wanted to ask you if you were interested in it too. It's like but it's, believe it or not, it's a mini series. I'll look that one up while you're talking about yours. But there's a show coming out soon. I wanted to get your opinion on, or see if you thought you might be interested in. But I was interested to see more television stations doing there's only 6 episodes because it is a mini series. It's not going to conclude.
I really like that idea, especially if it's not going to be on like Netflix or Hulu or something that you can binge. At least it's a set number of episodes, like a story that you don't have to follow for 20 weeks or whatever, like a normal show. But yeah, I'm definitely glad the miniseries is making a comeback. I feel like things like the O.J. Simpson thing, which I didn't watch that one, but like American Crime Story and stuff like that, kind of doing something a little bit different.
Right.
So I've been watching a show on Netflix called Everything Sucks, and I actually watched all of it because I couldn't stop watching it. It's, I want to say 10 or 13 episodes of 30, I think they're 30 minutes. So that's,
which is about common to most of those.
Yeah, it goes
Netflix
pretty quickly.
Series now.
So this show is set in the 90s. So that's one of the most attractive things about it, because it follows a group of freshmen in high school that is their freshman year, just starting out, and they are like AV nerds, and they joined the audiovisual club, and they are cameramen and stuff like that in that club. They do a morning talk show thing at the school. And
my school had one of those in middle school too. That's what I kind of liked about it.
I've always seen it and stuff, and our school never did anything like that. I always thought it was cool. I always thought maybe I'd want to get into that sort of thing. But anyway, so the little boy, the main character, Lucas, gets a crush on a girl, and he's really, like, really super sweet and likable kid. He asked her out in a really, really cute way.
I loved that so much because that
So
song is
cute.
like one of my absolute favorites
Love
ever.
that song. And that's one of the main things about this show is the music. Such great 90s music.
Yes.
Every song is just perfect. It's such, like, it just weaves into the fabric of the show. It's just such a big part of the show for me. But yeah, he asked her out in this video montage recreating the video from Oasis, Wonderwall. It's so good, so cute, because she loves the song. But what he doesn't know about the girl is that she's struggling with her sexuality and she thinks that she might be a lesbian. And so she agrees to go out. I don't want to give away too much of it, but basically she agrees to go out with him as kind of like a cover. Like, she likes him and he is very sweet, but she doesn't know that she likes boys anyway. So she just sort of panics and agrees to go out with him. And it was,
I like that conversation between him and his mom when he's talking about her.
Yes.
Like when he's like telling his mom essentially that he's about to ask her out.
the mom character is very interesting to me because in this story, she is a stewardess, a flight attendant. So she leaves him, and the dad is not in the picture, but she leaves him to go on these flights. Like, they haven't worked out. Like, he's used to being on his own. He knows how to take care of himself, which is such sort of a 90s thing, really.
I was about to say, but think about when we were that age in the 90s. Like, it was I stayed home with my brothers after school till well into the evening because my parents both worked. So, like, to me, I didn't bat an eyelash, except for one moment I was like, oh, God, this kid's only a couple of years older than Caden, and there's no way!
Yeah.
No way! So I think it's the time period too.
Yeah, it's definitely something that most people would not allow this,
Right.
These days. But and it did freak me out a little bit. I'm like, nobody knows where their kids are. It's like really freaking me out.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that when I'm watching something, I'm like, where are the parents? Like, I'm glad I'm not the only person that thinks that.
But they did have like a really tight knit relationship between Lucas and his mom, and that leads to Lucas gets in trouble, and so his mom has to meet with the principal, who happens to be the girl's
Her
dad, and he is so cute.
I love him.
He
so
is
much.
like a nerdy, just
He's
kind
like
of.
the so you know what I thought of, because it's AV Club and it's the 90s instead of the 80s. I was thinking it's one of the kids from Stranger Things grown up, and now he's the principal and a dad. I don't know why I kept thinking that. That's what
Yeah, it's like he's like real corny and like earnest and like sweet and trying to.
parenting a single dad in the 90s was not heard of. Like, it was done.
Well,
but it was,
outside of
when
Full
it happened,
House.
people were like, what? You know? And he is genuinely like a good dad, and he's trying, and like you said, he's like cheesy funny, and that's what makes him adorable.
Right, but so their parents are kind of, they meet each other and like each other and go out, and so that sort of adds a new wrinkle to the story. But most of the story is around the relationship between I keep forgetting her name. Her name is...
I'll look it up for you, but I keep forgetting it too. I want it like it's on the Kate. Yes.
Is her name.
I was like, it's right here, but I can't think of what it is.
Speaking of Stranger Things, she looks like Dustin from Stranger Things.
Well, hello. The one kid's name is Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I the only one that was like, wait a second?
But I had to look up whether they were related or not, because she looks like a female Dustin, and she's adorable.
She is really cute.
Like, very, very talented. And she sings at one point during the show. Very, very, like, interesting and engaging young actress. But a lot of the show is focused on the kids making a movie, because they accidentally mess up the school play, and so they offer to do this movie because them three together as friends make movies. So, and they decided to do like a cheesy sci-fi romance sort of movie. It's really cute. Like, I really dug the way that they put it all together, and I actually wanted to like see the whole movie when it was over with, because they do like a whole screening for the school and everything. I'm like, show the movie, like, I want to watch this. I would totally watch this cheesy movie.
I wonder if maybe they are going to later.
It would be awesome. I would love that. But
because the video was so good,
mm-hmm.
I don't see why that wouldn't be just as good.
But it's really cute, and some of it gets really, it's funny, but some of it gets really deep. Like, I know Susan and I talked about it, and, she was like, I was bawling, I was crying. Well, she's not new for her, but love you, Susan. But
of course, Susan's like me. Like, we were talking about that last night, actually, like how I cry at that Suit and Subaru commercial. So I get it.
She felt like a lot of things like really hit home, because there's some deep stuff in there, and she, Kate confesses a bunch of things about her life that are really difficult. It's not light stuff, so definitely
I'm sorry,
check out
that conversation when her dad comes in. I won't spoil anything.
Oh my god!
But he's like,
yes,
and I was like, oh god, oh my god. I think that's when I fell in love with him even more.
It's totally and I really like when a show can make me care about the parents and the kids.
Yes,
I like that a lot. So definitely check out Everything Sucks, especially if you have any sort of 90s nostalgia, and especially for 90s music.
The songs they're going to play, and you're going to like go back to remembering like what significant that song was to you during that time. Because I did.
Oh,
so I feel like other people will too.
All right. The other thing that I'm not caught up on, because I can see myself getting obsessed with the show, so I'm trying to take it in chunks, like let 3 or 4 episodes build up, and then let me watch it obsessively.
I do like to binge. I mean, we've talked about I like to binge.
So I'm watching The Assassination of Gianni Versace. Oh my god. I knew it was a thing.
I've seen your guys' conversations about it, but I have not been watching it, so I'm really looking forward to your...
I knew that it was a thing, and I know a little bit about the story of Versace. I think I've seen some sort of true crime documentary or something like that, so I knew the Cliff's Notes version about what happened and his murder, but this is just next level. It's like Darren Criss, I only know him from like Glee, and I liked him in Glee, but he is fucking amazing as the murderer in this. Just so creepy and just wow. It's really
I've heard
hard
people comparing him to the weird cat from the Freak Show season of American Horror Story that like nobody really knew much about him before then, and they threw him in as Dandy, and he was like, that was everybody's favorite that season. So I've heard people comparing his character on, that on the show you're watching, Assassination of, anyway, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I've heard people comparing his his acting and how it's portrayed and how he's done, like how creepy, I guess, is what they're getting at, and how well he's doing creepy, to the kid that played Dandy in the Freak Show season of Horror Story.
Because it's so, like, it's such a facade that he has. Like, he can be, like, super charming and when he needs to be, and when he wants something, and he just lies so effortlessly, and, you can see how people react to him. They want to be close to him. Like, you can see a lot of it is because he's full of shit, but you see the other people around him falling for the shit.
From my understanding, that's how the guy actually was, though. Like, that's why he was so well liked and stuff.
Exactly. But it was all just lies, like just fabrications. And the performance is just extraordinary. And this is probably one of those shows that needs a trigger warning as well, because it's bloody and gruesome at times, and extremely sexual. Extremely.
Which would make sense to me.
Yes. It's very disturbing, some of the sexual acts, for some people, I guess. It really just depends on what you're into. But, these men that he would be with, some of them liked things a certain way that was extremely kinky. So, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not caught up. So, I saw today that Tim said that there was another particular sex scene that stood out to him. So I'm gonna have to get caught up. But
I may go back and watch that like after the fact, because it's kind of like the one you mentioned, the O.J. Simpson, where I wanted to watch that one, because I think as any kid that was growing up during the 90s, you remember all of that because it was on TV. So I wanted to watch that one, and I was told not to waste my time, so I didn't. But this one is getting nothing but amazing reviews, even from people that were like, I stumbled across it and I wasn't going to watch it, but I'm glad I did, and just different things like that. So I definitely think I'll check it out when they put it on whatever streaming service they move it to after it's over.
Yeah, I think this is on FX. So
yeah. Which isn't FX the one that did the O.J. Simpson thing too?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
But there are other notable performances. Ricky Martin, surprisingly, is the partner of Versace. I forget his name.
I can't remember right now either, but I know what you're talking about.
We're having trouble with names tonight. But anyway, his scenes are really good. Like, I was really surprised. And then, fucking, what's her face? Penelope Cruz is, Donatella.
She's always good.
Yeah. And her accent gets a little thick at times and exaggerated, but she has just a creepy, like, she's creepy too. And then she has all this anger, about her brother's life, and especially towards her brother's partner, because I don't think it's about him being gay or anything. I just think it's about, she thinks that the partner took advantage of him, and it's heavily implied that Versace had AIDS or HIV, which I honestly don't know if he did or not, but it was heavily implied that he was sick.
I was going to say, I think he did, if I remember correctly. Because my grandmother's always been big into, like, do you remember the magazine W? It was like big fashion magazine. Mm-hmm. She's always been real big into just like looking, she loves, finding like designers at a good price, or, not necessarily knockoffs, but like, what can I get? So, I mean, she used to get like W magazine. They used to do all kinds of articles on him. And if I'm not mistaken, that's something that they talked about at one point. Because I remember when I'd stay the night with her, like, it was one of those things, like, I love to look at her books and her magazines and stuff. And I believe that he did.
I actually meant to Google it and I forgot, but I think that Donatella had blamed the partner for that because apparently he would bring other men home and stuff like that. So, it's and she does this like creepy thing or whatever. Like she prepares him for his funeral, like in the casket and all. It creeped me out, but whatever. Anyway, it was good
I don't
though.
think I could. Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah. So that's another good one. And then,
I finally remembered the name of that show, by the way.
oh, what was it?
It was from It's also from WGN, the miniseries. Well, they're saying it's supposed to be a miniseries, but it's called Shoot the Messenger.
Oh, yeah.
It's also prevalent to current events too. But I've only watched episode 1, so I can't really say much about it. But I wanted to tell you because it has Alex Kingston in it.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then it has Lucas Bryant, which, did you ever watch Haven on Sci-Fi?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, he was the really hot detective or the really hot cop from Haven. That was her boyfriend.
Sweet.
And he's in it. But when I saw Alex Kingston, I was like, I have got to tell Jenny about this. But I watched episode 1, and it was pretty good. And Alex Kingston, as always, is really good.
Yes,
So.
always. All right. So real quickly, I know we have somebody waiting on us tonight. So
do you have any reads or downloads? I only have one read. Do you have any reads?
I have a couple. Yeah.
Okay.
I got caught up on Jessica Jones from Marvel.
I need to do that still.
Yeah, it's so good. It is so good. I freaking love that book.
Remind me, what is volume 1 called?
Volume 1's called, well, this is like a different thing. Like
it's a different one?
Yeah,
Okay.
This is the current Jessica Jones, Brian Michael Bendis, but there's previous runs of his and of Jessica Jones called Alias.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Just wanted to check on that.
And so this one is the return of the Purple Man, this arc that I'm in. So if you've watched the show or read any other Jessica Jones, you know about the Purple Man. And oh my god, he's so super fucking creepy. Like the way that they
all of the bad guys on Jessica Jones are super fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna put that out there.
But he does just it's like even in the artwork it's so palpable that she's so scared of him because they showed like a lot of crowds, a lot of people, and there were a lot of basically avenues for him to attack her whenever he wants. I mean, he can. That's his power. So
right.
It's such a sense of dread in a lot of the artwork. And she knows that, well, he's escaped from prison, and she just found out about it because nobody told her for stupid ass reasons, apparently. And so she sends Luke out away from her, and she takes her daughter. She's kind of in hiding with her daughter Dani, and then somehow the Purple Man is able to use Dani and control her. And it's so chilling.
That's creepy to think about in general.
It's absolutely horrific because the look on her face when she realizes that it's him and her daughter's body, it blew me away. I was like,
well, even if it's not a person that you're terrified of, which she is, this is something invading your child.
Yes.
And as a parent, like, my gut wrenches at the thought of that.
It was like, I'm looking at the page and I'm like, they're not going to do this, are they? Like, I didn't believe it. And I'm like, holy shit, they're doing this. And he talks to her with her daughter's voice and says that shit. And it is just, I'm telling you, it is gut wrenching. And she just basically is just like, I'll do whatever you want. Just let her go. Just, don't do this. Please don't do this. And because at that point, he could make her do whatever. He could make her jump out of a window or, anything.
Oh my God.
So she agrees to meet with him, and she gets her daughter to a safe place, like protected by superheroes, and she meets with him, and he is so like, he doesn't understand why she doesn't want him. Like, she is so scared of him, and he doesn't get it. And that's just adds another level.
So, like, he truly does not understand
No.
why she is terrified of him?
No, he doesn't get it. Like, he's like, we had fun together. It wasn't really all that bad.
Which is also creepier in the fact that this person clearly enjoyed.
Yes.
Because I know bits of this story. So, the things they did, or he did when they were together, so to speak, she is scarred by this.
Oh,
she
yeah.
is completely terrified of him. And the fact that he's like, but I don't understand. We had fun and, we got along and things were great. And she's like, what the fuck are you remembering? Because no.
It just is totally...
Like, it's a whole other level of...
It does. It's so brilliantly written because he just doesn't... He has no sense of, like, right or wrong, or there's just no boundary, no line. It's just, this is what I wanted to do, and I did it, and, like, what's the big deal? Like,
right. When
he truly does not understand.
When you have a villain, essentially, they are a villain, and then the fact they don't understand even remotely why what they're doing is bad, I think it just adds to the level of scare.
Yeah. It's a mind fuck.
I don't describe
It's a
it.
mind fuck,
like,
for real.
Right. I think when you can jack with someone's mind versus physically hurting them, you have done a whole nother level of destroying a person.
And then, so Danny is not his only victim. He gets a hold of Captain Marvel.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So takes
This is
over.
not okay with me.
Yeah, takes over her body. I mean, it's.
Okay, I need to read this clearly because I have not read this, and you guys know that
it's fantastic.
Miss Marvel is not Captain Marvel, but that's like my favorite. So I need to read that. I'm going to be mad, but I need to read it.
And she's been in and out quite a bit. So, and then Jessica just her reactions to this is just like classic and just entertaining as hell. So pick up Jessica Jones for real, especially, the new season of the Netflix show is coming out, next weekend?
Thursday.
So March 8th. So that's prevalent to current events.
March 8th is a really cool day.
Yes, it is a really cool day. It's a very cool day. It's the day of your birth.
It is the day of my birth on this earth.
How old are you going to be?
I will be 33. And I am not afraid to say that.
Well,
really not.
You're a braver woman than I. All right. So, what else? What do you have for reads?
So I have one book that I want to talk about. It's called Still House Lake, and it's by Rachel Kane. And if you have the Kindle Unlimited, which I know a lot of our friends do, if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it via Kindle Unlimited. And it is freaking amazing. It is gruesome and it is gory, so I will go ahead and put that out there. Rachel Kane is one of my favorite authors that writes a YA vampire series that I've talked about before called The Morgan Vampires, which is a phenomenal series in itself. But this is an adult suspense read. Murder suspense. It's not murder mystery in the sense of who done it, because we know who's done it from the get-go, and it won't give anything away. But this lady, essentially, that the story is about, the whole story is from her perspective. It's her, and this is the number one in the series. So there's already a number 2, and it's already out. So I'm very much going to pick that up. But Gina Royal, and she is definition of average. She would not grab your attention in a cottage room. She's essentially just a shy Midwestern housewife. Happy marriage, 2 kids, and then within like the first few pages of the book, she's being arrested. She's being thrown across the top of her minivan while her kids are screaming in her minivan, and she doesn't know why. And because she pulls up to go try to pull into her house after going to like the grocery store or something, and there's a car in the side of her house, and she's like, "Why am I being arrested? Like, I don't understand. Who crashed in my house? Why am I being arrested for a drunk driver that hit my house?" Like, she doesn't understand. And so they take her in handcuffs and they walk her around to her house because he's crashed through the garage, which is her husband's workshop. It's been closed off. You can't go to it from the inside. There's only a door from the outside. Like, she never goes in there. And they tell you that. And immediately there's a woman hanging from a noose that has essentially been flayed from head to toe.
Oh, shit.
And she's like, she loses it. And it picks up after. So after the trial, after everything, she ended up, she has these people that hate her and they still swear that she had something to do with it. And she truly knew nothing about it. Like, apparently her husband would every now and then he'd bring her, she even says, like, every now and then he'd bring me a coffee table or a shelf that he had built. So she genuinely thought, like, he needs a private, me and the kids never go in there. He's just one of those men that's what he needs. Mm-hmm. And so she never asked to go out there. She never tried to go out there. She agreed for it to be closed up from the other side. Like, had no clue, but he apparently was doing this and had done this. I think the lady that they found that if the car hadn't crashed into the house was number 13.
Oh, shit.
So this is after that, and, she's been acquitted, everything's gone, but her and her children are constantly on the run. Mm-hmm. And they end up in this lake community in Tennessee, which was also cool because, like, I love stories from, like, Tennessee, Kentucky area because, I grew up right on the line of both states. So I'm familiar with a lot of the areas there. So I thought that was really cool. But murders start happening, and they are identical to the way her husband used to do them. And so she gets called in, and essentially at one point she gets blamed, and she's thinking she has to take off and run with her kids again. And it's everything that they go through while they're dealing with that. And it's just very, it's chilling because they, through the thing they talk about, and she makes very clear anytime was like, someone says, well, like, this was your husband's MO. She's like, X. Like, X. She cannot, like, it is beyond fear. She has fear. She has hatred. And she is a mom that is definitely willing to fight whatever evil she has to protect her children. Like, she has a safe room in her house. Like, she's had to become a different person. And this book is one of those, like, chilling, gut wrenching. And I think it hit me hard because as a mom, I was like, oh God, to have to go through something like that, I can't imagine. They all have new names. They have new identities. Like, she does not trust anyone. Like, anyone. She's very cold to people because she feels she has to, because she doesn't know who she can trust, because essentially there's this big group of people that still think she did that and that she knew. Again, kind of like the shows I've been watching, if you can't handle things, because there was a point where, like, I even had, like, acid rise up into my stomach when they were like, they were like describing what he used to do to these women, and I was like, ugh. Like, I had a moment where it, like, kind of, like, rose up there, and I was like, okay, simmer down now. And it was kind of disturbing, but I guess it's one of those, it's very much the trope of you never know what goes behind, what is going on behind a closed door. Damn. But if you like murder mystery, suspense novels, things that make you, because I will tell you right now, remember, I've told you time before, if I can figure out, because clearly there's a bad guy in this, because this dude's in jail, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously, like, who's the bad guy? There's a moment at the beginning of the book where I'm like, you need to be wary. And then, like, 2 sentences later, I'm like, no, this is just because she's petrified of everyone. And then I have another moment where I'm like, oh, shit, please tell me you're not doing what I think you're going to do. And for a second, they did. And then it turned out that if I'd gone with my original gut instinct, but it's so much more in depth because there's other people that play a part and this bad guy and how it's all intermingled, I was like, oh, damn.
Sounds awesome. What's it
It
called?
is really good.
What's it called again?
It's called Stillhouse Lake, and that is book 1. And book 2, and they will all revolve around water. I will go ahead and tell you that, and you'll find out why in the book. But book 2 is called Kilman Creek.
Okay.
And I've already read the synopsis of book 2, and I would tell you, but I think it would give away. It would definitely give away things that happen in book 1.
All right. Well, we have a bit of a theme for tonight because we've talked a lot about murder and
mayhem
and death and fear.
I wasn't trying to.
No, just kind of all of our things, kind of except for Everything Sucks. That's pretty much the only sort of lighter thing. But
oh yeah.
So for downloads, I of course have been listening to No Sleep for a long time. So I heard about a new podcast from some of the people that are involved in No Sleep, notably an executive producer, David Cummings, and then a lot of the voice talent. They have a new podcast called Congeria, Congeria. So it's more of a audio drama as opposed to just straight storytelling.
I really like those, though. I really do.
So good. Like, the story is about a detective. Well, she's a private investigator named Jenny Walker, and she gets a call for this case where a couple said that their child has been abducted and she's missing, but they don't want to call the cops because they for reasons that they explain, but then don't make a lot of sense to Jenny. So she doesn't trust the parents, but she takes the case and starts looking for the little girl, and things are not what they seem, and the little girl ends up having some sort of, we don't know what it is yet, but she's invincible, she's invulnerable, she can't age or die. So
interesting. Yes. And what did you say the name of this podcast was again?
Congeria, Congeria.
Congeria.
Yes.
Now, is No Sleep the one that you have to pay for?
No Sleep, you can do it my way, which on each episode they do 5 or 6 stories, and the free version they give you 2 or 3 stories.
Okay.
If you want to pay for the season pass, then you get all the stories, plus you get bonus content because they do like certain season pass holders only content. Okay.
That's why I wanted to ask, because I remember you talking about it before, and I remember there being something to do with purchasing or something to that nature.
Which it's only like $20 for the season, which is over 20 episodes of No Sleep. I want to say 25 even, maybe. But, so you miss a lot if you do the free version because you get basically half the content.
Right.
But it's still really good. Like, you still get really quality shows in the free version. But Congeria is free. You don't have to pay for it.
Okay, yeah, I just added it to my list to check out.
It's pretty great. This week they just had episode 3, and they're only about 40 minutes each, so it goes pretty quickly.
Okay.
Check that out.
Of course. I don't know that anybody would be, and I don't mean this as in like it's a bad podcast. I just don't know that anybody would be interested in the podcast that I previously picked up, only because I don't know how many of our listeners are like into yoga, essentially. And I have a girl that I follow that I obviously have been off the wagon for a while. But I have a girl that I follow, and I pay for a monthly subscription from her, and you can do her yoga workouts at home at your own pace. And sometimes she does free to join. Like if you're already a member, it's like a free hey, we're going to do a challenge this month, a yoga challenge. And she goes by Bad Yogi because she says, I have rolls and rolls happen and I like cheeseburgers and cheeseburgers happen. And, I really love her a lot. But she started a podcast, called Bad Yogi. And in her picture, she is actually eating a giant fucking cheeseburger.
That's awesome.
It's great. And she has one of them is called An Honest Chat about mediation, from practical tips to mediation's dark side. So she has sometimes she has little geeky jokes that she shares. So I think, because she never portrays herself, she never comes out right out and says I'm a geek, I love this, but she says things that leads me to believe she's our people.
Oh, sweet.
If that makes sense. So,
it does.
She currently only has 5 or 6 episodes. And she talks about some different things that maybe people should listen. One episode is when does sensitivity go too far? So it's just, it's very different things. There's a 2-part about relationships. There's one about social media. Is it helpful? Is it harmful? And then there's one that I especially loved, the things that she heard before she turned 30, horrible things she heard about being in your 30s, because, turning 30 is, like you just said, I was I'm 33 and I don't care.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a really big deal because a lot of women don't want to be oh, I'm 30. And I was one over here come on, 30. Get on 20s. Let's be over than 20s. So I really liked that episode a lot. And she's really adorable too. I don't know. I just find her very personable. So that's why when I found out, no ma'am. That's why when I found out she had a podcast as well, I had to try it out. So if you like things like that, I would give her a try because she's just a down-to-earth person that, she's going to talk about a lot about yoga, but that's her business. So
right. Well, that sounds cool.
She says somewhere she's about redefining yoga as a culture and removing the snobbery and the pretense that typically goes along with that.
I found that interesting because, I gotta say, whenever I think of yoga, I do feel
You think Lululemon and
I think of
little
pretension, and
right. And she is tiny, but she's been she is and she isn't. When she sits, she has rolls, we all do. But she is a smaller girl, but she says, I've been doing this for years, and there are poses where I still follow my ass, and she's not afraid to say ass, and she's not afraid to eat a cheeseburger.
That's awesome.
Right, I think that's what I think is so loving about it, is because I think far too often we see these people that are in roles like this, and this is their life and their business, and you look at them and you're I'm never going to look like them, and you feel so threatened. Mm-hmm. You feel, and there is a certain snobbery that comes with gyms and yoga and CrossFit, any of those. Honestly, I'm not downing one because I've tried them about all. There is a snob pretense that I have found myself in a few times where I've left a class or left a gym or left a certain workout because I just feel like I didn't fit.
Well, a lot of it for me, just personally, is a little bit of intimidation because I am a giant klutz and just a clumsy ass oafish person. And so to me, the whole concept is just not for me. I'm sure it's great, but I literally don't have enough balance or coordination.
I have no balance and no coordination, and I used to be so terrified of yoga, and I would even make jokes about all those yoga bombs. And then I started going because my rheumatologist was no, really, you need to go. At first she wanted me to do Tai Chi, and I told her, I said, so I tried the Tai Chi that you wanted me to do, and I felt like an idiot. I just don't think Tai Chi is for me. And so she was well, you need to go to yoga. And actually, didn't you know there was a studio in Enterprise? And I was shows how much I know. And that all fell out the window. I feel completely different about yoga now.
Well, I don't know. Having been in a gym for a couple of years now, I think maybe, it might be worth a shot.
Maybe. I mean, it is not for everybody.
Right.
I get that. Just because I love something doesn't mean the person next to me is going to love something.
Right.
So, I mean, I get that it's not for everybody.
But
that's why
I do like the idea of challenging yourself, to get
Right.
out of your comfort zone and to do something that you didn't think was for you, and you might end up really enjoying it.
I agree.
Or maybe learning some coordination and balance through practicing yoga. Less of a oafish person. Okay. So, I think this is a good spot for a break. And then when we come back, we will have an interview with a very special guest. So stick around.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, pro wrestling announcer Kevin Kelly here. I want to make sure you are all subscribed to all the great feeds here at Place to Be Nation. It's really easy to do. Just head to iTunes or your preferred podcatcher app today and search and subscribe to the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, which of course includes the full archives of the Kevin Kelly Show, the Place to Be Nation pod feed, and the Pro Wrestling Only feed. Subscribe, listen, and then rate us and leave feedback today. And be sure to give Justin your true thoughts. I mean, don't hold back. After all, he is kind of a jerk. Just listen to Scott.
Place to Be Nation's JT Rosero and Chad Campbell here. We want to let you know that we have a ton of great podcasts available to you on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and PlaceToBeNation.com, and we offer those to you on 3 great feeds. On the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, we bring you the Mothership, the original Place to Be podcast, as well as Main Event, Lucha Afterground, and our monthly pay-per-view reaction shows, as well as the Our Vantage Point podcast and Jeff Learns Wrestling. In addition to these full-length shows, we also deliver quick-hit pod blasts on topics old and new.
Over on the Pro Wrestling Only feed, we dive deep inside the wrestling business with a stacked army of experts leading the way. The feed features potpourri shows such as This Week in Wrestling, Greetings from Allentown, Psychology is Dead, Puro Potpourri, Stacy and Elliot's Bogus Journey, and the Military Industrial Suplex. We also have shows that focus intently on certain topics like Letters from Center Stage, Space City, and NWA Classics on Demand Adventure, Through the Years, Strong Style History, Strong Style Story, and Mount Olympus. Plus, the feed has the full archives of legendary shows like Titans of Wrestling, Where the Big Boys Play, Letters from Kayfabe, and much more. And on our popular Place to Be Nation Pop podcast feed, we offer such great shows as the Glenn Butler Podcast Hour Spectacular, Rank and File, PTBN Dadcast, Go Home in a Box, NBA Team, and Lucha Undead, as well as a veritable podcast heaven for comics fans with the Hard Traveling Fanboys, Sellers Points, Todd Weber's Conversation, Geek and Sassy, and Imaginary Stories podcasts.
You can find all of these current shows plus archives of our past podcasts, including The Kevin Kelly Show, as well by subscribing to all of our feeds on iTunes. And while there, be sure to rate and leave feedback as well. All of these shows, plus others, available on PlaceToBeNation.com, where we cover pro wrestling, sports, movies, comics, plus in-depth stretch projects and more. Be sure to support our site by using PlaceToBeNation.com/Amazon when shopping online, and download our free PTB Vintage Vault Refresh ebooks via the links on our site. We also want to thank our friends at Bonehead's Wing Bar in West Warwick, Rhode Island, and Fall River, Massachusetts, TheHistoryOfWrestling.com, and Scott Keats' blog of Doom. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr as well. PlaceToBeNation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
She thinks I'm much too thin. She asks me if I'm sick. What's a girl to do with friends like this? She lets me drive her car so I can score an 8 from the lesbians out west in Venice. Oh, California in the summer. And my hair is growing long. I'm beneath the sun, we fry our brains and say it's so much fun out here. But when it's all over, I'll come back for another year. I look for work today, I'm spilling out the door, putting my glasses on so no one sees me. I never thought that I'd be living on your floor, but the rents are high and LA's easy. Oh, it's a picture of perfection. And the postcard's gonna read, oh, fuck yeah, we can live like this. We can live like this.
Welcome back to Geek and Sassy. We have a very special guest. Miranda, do you want to introduce our very special guest?
I sure can. So if you are local, you probably know him because it seems like every time I say, hey, my friend Robert, everybody goes, oh yeah, Bobert, he's great. So locally, he is known as Bobert or Bobert the Balloon Guy. And I think we became friends, has it been 4 or 5 years now, Robert?
I think it's been longer, actually.
Has it? It has. It probably has been, actually. So that shows you how much attention to time my body grasps. But we became friends due to our friend that you guys at Place to Be Nation already know, Kelly. Kelly used to have his own comic book shop, and when his shop was open, he would have various days, and he would have like Batman Day and just different things of that nature, and a lot of the community would come out and cosplay. And Robert at the time was a member of a group that would take, participate in those and other cosplay actions around the Wiregrass area. And I met him that way. I believe, I think I remember what it was now. It was the Ghostbusters. Like, it was from Empire, but it was because of a Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and we started talking about that, and then we became friends, and then eventually led to us cosplaying together, actually. And you have for several times done balloon animals and I say animals, but then we give you some pretty crazy stuff to make for us at my son's birthday parties.
Not the craziest stuff I've been requested, but
the craziest
fun stuff. That's
but
for sure.
I feel like the Eiffel Tower incident was beyond goofy.
Well, the Bigfoot was pretty impressive.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I still talk about Eiffel Tower, though. I just told that story last Thursday night, actually.
My grandmother tells people the Eiffel Tower story.
I think it's going to be one of those balloon stories that stick with me till I'm probably old and wrinkly in a retirement home. So only 3 or 4 more years.
It's a great story. And then some people, I tell it and they just kind of look at me and I'm like, well, I guess you just had to be there, or you have no sense of humor. I'm not sure.
Tell the story. I'm dying to know.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell it, or do you want to tell it?
I think you should tell it because you tell it better. Okay. It's great.
Okay. It's really is one of those where seeing me is better since I'm so animated. But
okay.
But one of our mutual acquaintances, friends, Wally, wanted an Eiffel Tower. He did it as a joke. He was like, I want an Eiffel Tower. And I just shrugged my shoulder and I'm like, sure, why not? And I just start grabbing gray balloons and twisting them together to make a Eiffel Tower shape. And as I'm starting, he's like, man, I was just kidding. I was like, too late, you asked, I've started, you are getting an Eiffel Tower. So I'm going through, and it's just a rudimentary Eiffel Tower, just like a wireframe, basically. But it's pretty big. This thing is probably 3 foot tall, maybe more.
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know how I'm getting this home. I'm riding a motorcycle. I'm like, that's not my problem. You're getting an Eiffel Tower. So I whip out this Eiffel Tower. I give it to him. He loves it. He's showing it off to everybody. I go back to making balloons. Then he has to go and leave. Now, as he leaves, we're all going to the window like, how is he going to leave with an Eiffel Tower?
I even said, I was like, hey, Wally, you live right up the street from me. Do you want me to put it in the car and bring it to you later? And he was like, no, I got this. And so... yeah.
He got it indeed. We all watched out the window. He gets on his bike. He puts the Eiffel Tower over his head and puts his arms through it and just takes off. So he has this Eiffel Tower on his head, just whipping the wing, going, and I got a blurry photo of it as he was leaving, and it's on like an old phone of mine, so I don't even know if it exists anywhere anymore.
I think I tried to take one. I'd have to go back and see if I could find that.
I might have it somewhere, like on my personal Facebook or something, if I'm lucky. But so there is at least one blurry Bigfoot-esque photo of an Eiffel Tower on a motorcycle.
Did it hold up? Like, did it make it?
Yeah, it did. It made it to his house.
Wow, that's impressive.
I used pretty good quality balloons.
Obviously.
Yeah, we had something that you made for us once, and it lasted like, I think it was the pony that you made for me, because it lasted forever. And then finally when it died, no, it was one of the things that you made for Caden, like the very first time you made him a balloon. I remember that now. Because it was the dog, and it was like falling apart. Like part of it was deflated, and he was like, but it's mine! And like, this was like months later.
Yeah, I've had a dragon balloon that I made around the house one day for no good reason. I wound up making a dragon balloon, and I distinctly recall it sat for like a month and a half, still completely recognizable as a dragon, just like on an end table. Like, it obviously shrunk a bit, but it was still a very recognizable dragon. Then eventually it was like, you know what, I'm just going to get rid of this, and popped it and threw it away. Like, did not live its natural lifespan. Like, it would have been around for much longer.
I don't guess I've ever had any that lasted that long. Of course, my son usually tries to destroy everything pretty quickly.
Well, they'll last depending on like the balloon itself, because individual balloons might have their own defects or the way it's twisted or something. But they tend to last anywhere from a couple days to literally over a month. Actually, I had customers. Regular Applebee's, it's one of the restaurants I do balloons at. They brought in a little box with remnants of a balloon and flowers and a little headstone on it, because months ago I made them a 18-inch tall replica of me out of balloons.
I saw that.
They had it strapped into their car in the passenger seat, joking about using it for the carpool lane, and eventually it died. Like, it just completely deflated. So little headstone, RIP Bobert, 2017, 2018. I'd completely forgotten I'd made it until they brought in the tiny cardboard casket. So
that is hysterical.
That's extra right there. That's an extra move there, but cute. So I know we mentioned a little bit about cosplay, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, because you and Miranda obviously do it way more than I do, but I love it, and I've seen your work, and it's awesome. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about cosplay. Like, how did you get started? How did you learn how to even do it? What was the inspiration?
Oh dear. This will go back, for me, cosplaying goes back to whenever I was single digits old. I've always liked costumes and dressing up and superheroes and things like that. So I remember, Halloween's always been my favorite holiday, because you get to dress up and you get to do cool stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I distinctly remember, being younger and, wanting my own costumes. Like, ooh, I want to be Indiana Jones, or I want to be Robin, things like that. So, and then it just kind of became getting props and pieces from, my parents for Christmas or birthday if I could, or having to make my own. I grew up in a very rural area, so technically high quality materials not being able to be found, but low quality materials in abundance. I remember I made a Indiana Jones bullwhip out of a piece of garden hose and some what we called hay string, which is string that is used to bale hay with. I braided the string together, and I think that was my first experience braiding, and I literally taught myself to braid to make a quote unquote bullwhip.
That's awesome.
And I wound up picking up skills over the years to do that, and I wound up learning the weirdest things. Because of Indiana Jones, I eventually did get my own bullwhip. My father bought me one, made me wear safety goggles to learn how to crack it. So I actually have the ability to crack a bullwhip in my skill set now. And I wound up hand sewing a little retention clip that would go on my belt, just like Indy's, too. So hand stitching became part of the tool set too. I did a commercial shoot. It's been a few years ago, and they had a bunch of different cosplayers on the commercial shoot. And one of the guys was an Indiana Jones cosplayer, and he had the outfit down to a T, up to and including the kangaroo hide bullwhip. This thing was a work of art. And I walk up to him dressed up as Robin, and I'm like, can I see the bullwhip? And I've had tons of people want to see my bullwhip whenever I've been Indiana Jones. And my immediate thought is, no, you will kill yourself. And this, because bullwhips are surprisingly dangerous, especially if you don't know how to use them. But he was like, no, here you go. And I'm like, sweet. So I'm cracking it. I'm swinging around my head, cracking it, and doing a few different styles of whip cracking. And he just looks at me and goes, wait, I can't crack it like that. How do you do that? I'm like, wait, what? Like, I just assumed this guy, since he had such a perfect indie suit, would know way more about bullwhip cracking than me. So I felt really cool for that one moment of being like, you just do it like this. But
that is an impressive skill.
Hey,
kind of bust out.
I was gonna say, I grew up on a cattle farm, and I have no clue how to crack a bullwhip at all. Like,
it's fun. It's just not useful.
Not
in
really.
In my current line
at the end of the day, like.
I mean, I guess I could start do target cracking and stuff as part of stage shows, but otherwise it doesn't really do much for me now.
Well, that would be pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
honestly,
I would watch
mean,
that.
how many people have a skill set where they can say I can adequately crack a bullwhip? Like,
I can adequately crack. I can crack it all day long. Target hitting is a little harder, though. I will admit. Cracking easy, targeting bad. But I am lucky, though, that I have so many different weird skill sets, and the fact that I can apply so many of them to what I do now anyway. But I learned a lot of stuff growing up. Like, I remember one day my dad came home and he just had stilts. He'd gotten stilts somehow, somewhere. So I wound up learning how to use peg stilts too. Which is another fun clown related skill I have. So things like that. Like, my parents really encouraged me to do a lot of weird different things. Like, we were by no means rich, but hey, there's string, there's woods, go make stuff. So I wound up making a lot of oddball things.
I love that, though. I feel like I like that. They kind of furthered your interest and didn't kind of shy away and be like, "What are you doing?" They kind of encouraged it.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. My dad definitely encouraged it a lot. He got me a bullwhip. He got me at one point in time a ventriloquist dummy. Just a little one though. He got me things like that. My mom always encouraged me very much, like with the verbal support. She's like, just go do it,
Mm-hmm.
try it. What's the worst that could happen? So always the most boosting confidence abilities right there. Just go do it.
So, obviously, you've made tons and tons of costumes, and like I said, I've seen a lot of your work. But what are some of your favorites? What have you made that you're just like, damn, this is cool?
Well, my Ghostbuster outfit is definitely high up on there, just because of how many years I've slowly worked on it and put different things together with it. I absolutely love it. Right now, I just finished doing Black Panther and was able to wear it to the premiere, and I am just all about it, especially the helmet. I didn't build the helmet, but it's an awesome helmet. I'm working on a few right now, though, too, that are going to be really fun. I'm working on a Flash costume. I've been wanting one of those for a while. I've been wanting an Iron Fist costume for years. And I'm finally, I stumbled across a green spandex bodysuit on clearance for $12 here a while back. So I'm like, yes! Cheap cosplay!
Is that one of the ones that you and I were talking about, when the Halloween store goes 50% off, you got, different stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's Christmas for me right there, is when the Halloween store is 50% off. See, I'm trying to think of anything particular that I'm just beaming with pride of over the years. I love my Spider-Man. I really didn't do much for that. My Robin costume that I know Miranda's seen before. Mm-hmm. That one, I did a lot of work on it back in the day. I sewed the cape myself. I wound up sewing a lot of the parts too, actually. Built the boots, made the belt, the original belt anyway, made my mask, sculpted the R for the chest emblem. I did a lot of work on it. I still really like it.
It's amazing.
Talk to me a little bit, in detail about your Ghostbusters, because I've seen Russell's suit, and it's awesome. And
You've never seen mine, have you?
I've never seen yours, no.
Yeah, he made mine too.
Tell me, what all you make for a Ghostbusters suit.
Well, For me, the suit starts off pretty easy because it's a military flight suit for both my normal Ghostbuster suit and Russell's is a military flight suit. For Miranda's costume and my version of the 2016 movie costumes, we used I think it's Dickies coveralls.
Yep, we did.
But that's what we start with. I buy the patches online from various people, depending on how fast I need it or who has the most accurate patches at the time. So the jumpsuits themselves are pretty easy because then after that it's like combat boots, military web belts. Mm-hmm. On mine and Russell's, I had to build these like leather belt holsters that would hold things like circuit boards and whatnot. I know mine, I had to go through thrift stores and garage sales, military surplus stores to find like some of the knickknacks that go on the belt. I made belt clips and harnesses for the various gadgets. I'm actually like looking across my office right now, like the shelf with some of my Ghostbuster gear. Like, what all did I build? Had to cobble together circuit boards for aesthetics for the belt. I've built full scale proton packs several times over out of various material for various people. My fancy screen accurate last one is still not finished because I'm such a perfectionist. I don't like touching it unless I can make it absolutely perfect. Which is ironic considering I've built several other ones. Let's see. I've built ghost traps in the past, although mine usually aren't as nice as like the fancy kit, so I don't wind up building them a lot since I bought a nicer version. I don't build PKE meters because they really tend to be, in my opinion, a pain in the butt. They have like complex curves and they're pretty finicky, and I got lucky and bought one of the Mattel ones several years ago when they released virtually screen accurate replicas of them. So I'm like, I got it. I'm good. I don't got to build that. I mean, I had to make a holster for it, but that was about it. I built ecto goggles, a few different styles. So pretty much all the standard gear you see them carrying in the movie built, with the exception of like slime blowers, which I have the parts for and I just never finish. Yet again, awesome. The perfectionist side of me.
So, do you have like a personal deep connection to the movie, or is it just it looks cool, so I want to make it?
Ghostbusters in particular, it's my favorite film of all time. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. I saw the second one first when I was little. I remember I saw it the same day I saw Nightmare on Elm Street 3. So I'm wondering if that like somehow Freddy Krueger scarred me and the Ghostbusters immediately came over and fixed it. But no, it's my favorite film of all time. I don't know what it is. Like it's amazing props. It's a cool cast. It just has a visual look. It's funny. Like, even as a kid, when I didn't get the jokes, it was still awesome and, like, my favorite thing ever. Mm-hmm. So I really just grew up wanting to be a Ghostbuster. And then, like, later on, joined the Alabama Ghostbusters and did charity events and stuff like that. It's just, like, that's a huge connection there with Ghostbusters. And it takes up most of my office, all my Ghostbuster stuff. Like, I definitely got a lot of other things in here. But Ghostbusters is by far the majority of it.
Are you like that with most of your cosplays? Do you, like Spider-Man and stuff like that? Do you feel like you fell in love with the character and that's what makes you cosplay them?
For the most part, yes. Like Spider-Man, my two favorite superheroes growing up was Spider-Man and Robin. And I have several Robin things and I got several Spider-Man things and I love cosplaying as both of them. And that what made me want to cosplay as them. And then other things, it's not technically a cosplay unless you count it as a cosplay for my hand, but I've had to build a replica of Sam the Eagle from the Muppets before. Because I also built puppets.
Phenomenal.
I forgot. I also built puppets. I had to build a replica of Sam the Eagle. Well, in doing so, I had to research Sam the Eagle. So in researching him, I didn't figure out his height, which I scaled completely wrong, but I figured out his height, and I had to like look and see how he was built, how he was shaped, learn how to figure out how to put that into simpler, cheaper forms because I don't have the Henson Workshop budget. And in doing so, that actually what made me fall in love with the character of Sam the Eagle was building Sam the Eagle. Which is backwards, but like that's happened a few times with a few different things, but definitely Sam's the biggest one that I can stake that claim to, that I know a lot and like Sam the Eagle now because I had to build him.
That's cool. I like that. Miranda, do you have any other questions?
I I do regarding cosplaying, because these are things that you and I have talked about, but I think other people would be fascinated to know. So I know that you have made costumes and props and things of that. Obviously, we've mentioned, you've made costumes for me, you made costumes for Russell, but there are like different props that actually I've gotten to see, like when you were on your way to drop them off and just different things. And they may not be big, but they're so fascinating because I don't think most people would think of, props for local plays or things like that being something that you could, it being a lucrative business. And obviously you found a way to make it. I'm not saying like everybody run out and go do this, because one, I don't want you taking business from Robert, but two, like, I think you have to be extremely talented at it and, love it at the same time. And I see like your love for your work anytime you show me something new. So how did you kind of like fall into being able to make those props and those things for the different plays and such that you have? I'm trying to remember what exactly it was you showed me, because we met actually coincidentally enough in the parking lot of the Halloween store, and you and I shopped it together during the 50% off sale. And we had something we had to give each other too, the costume wise. I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember us meeting, and I cannot for the life of me remember the exact prop that.
But it was phenomenal. And I think that's amazing. Like, so how did that come about that you have made props for various plays in the area? And do you kind of research them like you did when you made the puppet? Is that something like that you would have to do?
Yes and no. Like, I started doing the props. Originally, I did props as just a byproduct of cosplay and costuming and having fun with my friends and doing Halloween stuff, when I was younger. And like, I think after college, I don't know, I'm not a college graduate. So like when I stopped going is kind of a nebulous time for me, but, somewhere around that time, my local college, because I'm not from Dothan originally. My local college was putting on a play, and they needed someone who could build tables that people could dance on. I can't remember the play to save my life, but they needed that, and somebody knew me and knew I built stuff. So like, hey, let's get Robert to do it, and I was like, okay. And I wound up building tables for them, and that was pretty fun. And I'd won a lot of costume contests and stuff with Halloween, so like people kind of knew I did stuff, and then. From there, it went on to making stuff for other people, making Ghostbuster stuff. I moved on to, at some point in time, there was this little web-based production company that was supposed to be like local out of Florida. I wasn't in Florida at the time, but I was close. And they were going to start doing shows, and I was in talks to be their main prop guy, just because like I had a bit of a resume already and things like that. Anyway, the production company went absolutely nowhere and did absolutely nothing. But I was interesting for negotiation purposes at the very least, and it made me get my first business license to do props and stuff. From there, though, when I did move to Dothan, I found a little theater, and I was like, hey, do you need people to build props and sets? So I did props and sets for them, and from there it went on to doing some local movies and things like that, and then moving on to doing stuff for like Spark Theater here in Dothan and whatnot. So that's kind of like how I fell into it. And then as far as mostly nowadays, I don't do as much prop stuff because I usually stay pretty busy with like the clowning and the balloons and stuff like that. But when people need props and they get up with me, that's kind of when the research happens. It's like, oh, hey, we need an Iago puppet for Aladdin Jr. So it's like, oh, I know the story of Aladdin. I know what Iago looks like. Let me research some and figure out how to make a puppet. And that's where that happens at, is just the research comes as soon as I know what they want. And it's like, oh, time to count and work. Let's go.
That's pretty, like, that actually leads me to a question that or not really a question I had, but more of something I really wanted you to talk about, because you are a professional clown and you legitimately went to clown school, which I think sometimes when people say that, they're making some sort of like derogatory connotation or a joke. And like being friends with you and like learning things about it, I have found like how actually interesting, and it's not an easy thing either. Like you can actually flunk out of clown school. So I talk a little bit about what made you decide that this was something that you were for sure going to do? You were going to go through this program. And I remember the name. I don't know why that's always stuck out to me, but I remember you telling me a story about a gentleman that you spoke with that explained to you the importance of picking your clown name and why that could make or break you as a professional clown.
Yeah, well, what happened was the way it originally started, the way I got into clowning. Well, technically, I've been performing my entire life without even realizing it. Like, I remember in elementary school, I convinced a teacher to let me bring my magic kit to class one day and do a magic show for everyone.
I failed you doing that.
Failed miserably at it, but I had fun doing it, and things like that. And then even with like the theater, when I moved to Dothan and got with the theater doing their sets and props and stuff, I would be on stage doing stuff with them or being behind the scenes doing stuff. So even then, performing happened. And then one day, I don't even know how, but I found this guy online who decided that wearing like the little squishy foam cheap dollar store clown noses, wearing them out in public was a good way just to make people smile and just kind of like shake people out of just that whole they walk around in all the time. I was like, oh, it's a great idea, make people smile, you know? So I started doing it, and from there I was like, I really like doing this. I kind of think I might, you know, want to see what else I can do with this. And about that time I met this amazing professional clown named Lee Andrews, and he is a phenomenal clown. I can't say enough good things about him, but he took a few minutes set aside and he talked to me and told me about clowning and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. And I didn't realize I was going to like cross paths with him again. And I've done so several times since, and he is always a great guy, but he really set me on that path of like, ooh, clowning. This is something I want to do, because I could already juggle and stuff. And still walk and a few other things.
Bullwhip.
Bullwhip, there you go. I could do those things, and then so actually I got into balloons from that. I was like, oh, clowns do balloons, I should learn balloons. And then it turned out I was pretty talented at the balloons. But yeah, picking your clown name is important, because it kind of gives people an idea who you are and everything. And you know, you want to, it's about a kind of professional thing. You want to have a good brand, but at the same time you want something that's fun. So I can't really quote with nuance on it exactly, but it's one of those things that's really important. My original clown name wasn't Bobert. Bobert was a nickname I'd picked up from, I had a couple different groups of friends, and they all started calling me Bobert right about the same time. I was like, oh, it's kind of serendipitous, and the nickname kind of stuck. Well, my original clown name, is as silly as it sounds, and it is silly, and it's supposed to be, was Vincent Von Groovy, because I love Scooby-Doo. So I was like,
I think I remember you telling me that now.
Yeah, it's a super silly name. I had like a little hand motion and a little dance move that I would do whenever I'd say the name, and I thought it was really good. But then when I'm in clown school, Lee was teaching, and we get ready to do the big show, and we're putting everybody's name down for the roll call for who all is going to be doing skits, and you had to put your name and your clown name. And I was going to put my clown name down, and Lee's me like, I don't care what name he puts down, I'm calling him Bobert on stage. So I was like, well, there we go. I was previously told by another professional clown that I should have a different clown name that was more removed from my real name than that. But honestly, it really suits me, and I like it a lot. So Bobert it is.
I agree. I think it suits you.
I mean, it's like I said when I was kind of introducing you there at the beginning, how many people that I'll say, you know, oh, my friend Robert, and they're like, the balloon guy, right, Bobert? And I'm like, yes. And so you're known, like, outside of our friend circle, that's how you're known to other people. So I think it's pretty phenomenal, too.
Branding works a little bit.
It does.
Which is fantastic. I mean, I love it. I think it's a fun name, but it's also, it is good branding. I chose to go to clown school, though, because, one, I just thought, how cool would that be to be able to tell people, I've been to clown school.
Right.
Like any job application I have from now till I die, clown school graduate will be on there.
Well, no, yeah, I think you should be proud of that, because, I mean, you kind of explained a little of, like, everything you did and how it was, you know, it's a fun thing, but it's an intense thing, because you have to take it, like, you're going to learn to be silly and to make people happy, but you have to take it seriously at the same time, too.
Oh, you absolutely do. It's the most fun and the most exhausting thing possible. While at the same time, you're cramming so much information and knowledge in. You're up early every morning. You're staying up late every night, like talking with people and getting things. And even when you're not talking to instructors, you're talking to other students. It is very exhausting, but very fun. I went to the American Clown Academy, which is a phenomenal school, and it used to be in Ohio. This year, it's actually going to be in Georgia. So I'm actually going back again this year to attend again, just because it's so close to here. Plus, also they've revamped a lot of the classes, and it's going to be amazing. Like some world class instructors will be there. And I cannot wait. But no, like it's a very serious thing, but at the same time, it's super, super fun. If you have a passion for it, I recommend it to anyone. If you don't have a passion for it, you don't want to go.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think it's like cool though, because it's something different. It's not something that everybody can say that they've done. I think all of us have a story where we went to college. We either did or didn't finish. But I know as far as people that have legitimately gone and passed, clown school and are good at it, I know you. And so I think that speaks like volumes about something like that, because it's clearly not, it's not for everybody, but you're just so good at it. And maybe I'm biased, but like I do, like when we're planning Caden's bird parties, the first thing that we do when we're sitting down and planning them is I'll know the date first. Obviously, the first thing is like, what day do we want to have his birthday party on? And the second thing I do is message Robert and say, hey, are you available on this day? And I check with him. And I remember one year he was like, I don't think, because we wanted to do it on like a Friday night. He's like, I don't think I could do that. And I was like, what if we had it the next day on Saturday? And I worked my schedule around his, because Caden thoroughly enjoys having you there.
I love being there.
The kids, they love it. And they're always like, oh, can you make this? And I think this last year you made, what was it, swords and stuff, Jenny, that the boys were fighting with?
Yes.
It was like swords, and I am thoroughly impressed. Like the Bigfoot was impressive. And then here they come with swords that they can actually like play with. Like it's pretty impressive. Another thing I've always...
Real quick question. How long does it take to get a clown school? What's the...
Oh, yeah, good question.
Oh, that is actually a great question. Believe it or not, and this may sound like ridiculously short amount of time to most people, but clown school is only a week.
Really?
Clown school is one very intense week. It's a week because not everybody is a full-time professional clown, so they have to get vacation time from their muggle job so they can come out and...
Understandable.
They can come out and they do that. And then, but also like Ringling Brothers, when Ringling Brothers was around, their final iteration of Clown College was literally 1 week anyway. So like even for the tippy top of the professional scale, a week was all you got. You kind of go there though, and they give you a professional polish. Although they've restructured it now where you could go if you don't know anything, like the idea is that you go kind of knowing how to be a clown, and then they take you to that next level. They polish you off. They package you good. They make sure you know what you're doing. And it's really good. When I say like exhausting and very little sleep, I mean it, because I think we got when I was there, I was up I think at 6 every morning. I was up around 6 every morning. And I wouldn't go to bed till 2, 3 at night, because like I think the final stuff for the day would wrap up around midnight. But then you're just up after that talking with teachers and students and learning and doing different things just on your own. And then you go to sleep for a couple hours and you wake up and you keep doing that for a full week. So it'll wear you out, but like I say, it was great.
I'm wondering, like, because you already knew how to juggle, right? So when you went,
yes.
So I kind of assuming that most people do, and I picked juggling because I find my lack of coordination that's one of those things that I will never be able to do. Like, they teach you how to juggle in a week, like less than a week.
Well, some people can pick up juggling in like an afternoon.
Seriously?
For me, it took me a very long time to learn how to juggle. I'm still not like the world's best. Like I got 3-ball down, I got 2-ball down. I can do clubs, I can do rings, I can do stuff like that. But you hand me 4 balls, and it's like I can juggle them for a few seconds, and that's going to be about it. So like 5, 6, 7, like I'm out. it's super fun and I love doing it. But honestly, you don't have to know how to juggle to be a clown. You don't have to know how to ride a unicycle. You don't have to know how to do stilts. You don't have to there are, in my opinion, virtually no prerequisite skills to be a clown. Because no matter what you can't do, there's going to be something you can do, and you can work comedy routines out of that. You can work 2-man skill acts out of that. Like there's so much that you can do, even if you don't realize it. And that is an interesting thing about clown school, because they can teach you how to juggle. Like I learned club juggling while I was there, because clubs take a little bit more finesse than just throwing the beanbags around. Learned that. I learned some hat manipulation while I was there, which I have kept doing a little bit of, although I'm like no expert at it, but I really enjoy that. And I got that from clown school. So they teach you what they can, but they really focus on the hows and the whys more so than a specific skill.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Although there were definitely specific skills you could break down. I went through an entire course on balloon decor. So like I can make those really cool arches and the cool balloon drops and like all those fancy things you see in like proms and balls and nice parties. I can do those things, and I almost never do them. Like most people don't really want balloon decor. They just want, the clown to make them a bicycle, as it were.
Or an Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, or an Eiffel Tower.
Actually, I think the one I was most impressed with that you made, it was a recreation of another artist. It was the Fly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen we went around Facebook a lot. I saw it a lot because everyone tagged me in it. But there was a Japanese balloon artist, and I think it was he made these phenomenal, amazing, hyper detailed balloon sculptures of I think it was birds and bugs and fish and just all these really cool balloon animals. And I was looking at it, and I looked at the Fly, and I was like, that'd be really nice to make. I wonder if I could make that. And like looking at his like one single photo that he'd released of this Fly, I was able to recreate it. It wasn't perfect, but it was my first attempt at it, which made me pretty happy. It took about 50-something balloons, though.
Dang.
It wound up being probably a good 2.5 feet long. But I liked how it turned out. I thought it looked really good. My photo didn't turn out quite as nice as his, with the super smooth lighting and background and professional photography.
I don't know. I thought it looked pretty amazing. And maybe that's like one of those, like everybody's always harder on their self, like harder on their own personal work. But I was blown away by it, because I would like barely tie a balloon just blowing it up. So, I mean, that ain't something I'm going to be trying to make anytime soon.
Well, I think that, one, I do know I am harder on myself about things than other people are, but also I feel like it's almost two different skill sets. Like this guy went through the trouble of creating a Fly from scratch, and then all I did was copy it. Like, don't get me wrong, I had to copy it based off of one photo and guessing proportions, sizes, number of balloons. Like that is a skill in of itself, but it's almost a different skill than creating the Fly to begin with. I've noticed I'm pretty good at reverse engineering other balloon artists' work, which is really convenient. But at the same time, I do make my own sculptures too, just usually nothing to that scale. Although I do have some in the plans. So.
Well, I mean, you've had some pretty, like, I know we've talked about it, like, we've mentioned it a couple of times now, but the Bigfoot that you were like, like Caden, because his birthday party, the last one was a Bigfoot theme, and he was like, well, can you make a Bigfoot? And I remember you standing there for a couple seconds, and it wasn't long. Like, it was literally just maybe about 30 seconds, and you're like, And then Tiffany starts handing you certain, like, balloons and stuff, and you just, like, created this Bigfoot out of nowhere. Like... I mean, he's he's not a real creature anyway.
Caden loved that thing too. Yes. Caden was flipping out.
It was in his room for the longest time.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Yeah. Well, part of that actually goes back to the cosplay and the prop building and everything like that, and the puppet making. I was really good at building and designing things like that. And honestly, even before I did that, I used to do a lot of art. I wanted to be a comic book artist before I realized I did not have the patience to sit still long enough to draw. But I used to draw all the time. So I think between drawing, designing, and building, like, it makes it easier to do the balloons because I'm used to working with my hands. I'm used to shapes and how they fit together to form structures. So, like, once I understand the basics of these are the shapes I can make with balloons quickly and easily, how do I put these shapes together to make this complicated shape like a Bigfoot? So I got lucky there. I had all the like pre-existing knowledge that I could kind of borrow from to form balloon creations like Bigfoot.
So what I'm hearing is pay attention in art class, kids.
only if you want to follow in my footsteps, which is hard but amazing. So like, if I didn't already know that I wanted to do this for a job, like, the past couple of days have proven to me over and over again that this is exactly what I should be doing. So I don't think I can do anything else.
Well, I think several of us even said that to you when you were working, you know, and someone else was like writing your paycheck every week when you were working, because you would wear the nose at work and you were, you know, open and animated like you and I both are when we talk, but you were even that way when you were working a cash register at Michael's.
Oh, yeah.
And people like loved you and fell in love with you there from that. And I remember, you know, me saying like, why don't you just do this as a profession? And I remember when you and Tiffany, your wife Tiffany, who is an amazing support. I mean, she's phenomenal in how supportive she is with everything that you do.
Absolutely phenomenal. And she even has started doing balloons herself. She has her own gigs coming up.
Yay!
Oh, really?
That's awesome. She is absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't be more proud of her. She's even come up with balloon designs already that I haven't thought of, and I'm just like, oh, why didn't I think of that? It's so simple and good.
I remember the smile on both of your faces the day that you guys told me. You're like, I'm not going to be in Michael's anymore. I'm doing this full time. And, I think that shows through what you do, and also like you've gotten her more into it. Because I remember one of the reasons that you and I actually cosplayed together in the beginning was I did Gwen Stacy with your Spider-Man. Is that she wasn't super into it at the time. Like I was like, well, why don't we? You know, we could have Mary Jane too. And she was like, I don't know. And then you've kind of like gotten her because we've done stuff. Me, you, and her. We did Gravity Falls.
Oh, I absolutely love doing that.
I loved that one so much. It was literally just stuff out of our closets, and that one was probably one of my favorites. Scooby-Doo, which we've not actually officially all done together, but we have our Scooby-Doo gang.
Oh yeah, we have the outfits at the ready.
Yeah. So we do have our Scooby-Doo gang. So she's like starting to become part of that. But I think the best thing was seeing her finally come into her and get excited, and you guys do this together as a couple, because I think that's like the phenomenal part about it was with the Squirrel Girl.
Oh yes,
I
love that.
Fanaticon. We even mentioned that on our Fanaticon episode too.
For once that because Tiffany, I love her. I'm going to gush about her for a minute now because she's amazing. She hates to be the center of attention. She probably hates that I'm talking about her right now if she can hear me. But she hates being the center of attention. I love it. I thrive on it. I have to have it. Like, if I'm not the center of attention, I might die. I'm like an attention shark. So it's a very interesting dynamic. Like, she kind of hides near me as I just get all the attention and everyone like overlooks her. So like I love the fact that she has found some things that she loves and likes to do. Like, she'll cosplaying Squirrel Girl. For once, like, no one knows who Chipmunk Hunk is. Like, I'm standing there in tights and a leather jacket, and no one knows who I am. They know Squirrel Girl's there, and that's all they care about. They're like, can you get a picture? Move, weirdo.
I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea who you were.
I'm sorry, but I had a moment of like...
Oh, it was great. It was absolutely great. I loved it. Because she deserved it. It was a great costume. She did it well. She had confidence in the outfit and everything. And that was something that I really enjoyed seeing her do. And she did Gravity Falls with us. We've done Scooby-Doo together before. Actually, we've done two different Scooby-Doos. We did the regular Shaggy and Velma that you saw.
Right.
the first thing I ever got her to cosplay as was Dragon Con several years ago. We did gender swapped Shaggy and Velma.
See, I never got to see it.
Well, I don't think a single picture exists because it was a one-day thing. We towed her around a little stuffed Scooby. She had, I think she had Converses on, a brown skirt, and a green shirt. And then I had, I think I had brown shoes on. I had like red Dickies pants. I had orange button-down shirt with like a pocket protector. So it was obviously like just the right colors, just gender swap with clothing and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great little outfit. I think only one person wound up recognizing that we were supposed to be Velma and Shaggy. But I mean, I don't care. It was so much fun. But we did that, and we did the regular Shaggy and Velma. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, though, she is talked about and it seems to be really excited. She wants to cosplay as Star from Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
Yes, her and I talked about that because I was like, me too!
That'd be super awesome. And plus, she wants me to cosplay as Marco Farr, and yes. I will absolutely love that because that means I just get to wear a pair of pants and a red hoodie and be lazy. It'll be another instance where everybody gets to focus on her.
I could be Pony Unicorn Head.
Is each one of the unicorn masks? You just walk around with it.
Right.
I don't.
I feel like it would be hard to like not get into cosplay if, you live with somebody who's like super talented and loves it and does it all the time. You're like, make me this. I want to do this. Come on now.
Oh yeah. She asked me to make her, anything. I'm just like, yes. But yeah, like the cosplay thing is super great, and I love that she's getting more into doing the family business as it is now, which is really awesome. She's more talented than she gives herself credit for. That is for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I love her.
I don't remember how we got off onto this particular tangent though, so I don't know how to get back to the main road.
Oh no, it's okay because I was just talking about when you first switched over to doing this full time and how supportive she was, and I wanted to mention her because I know she doesn't like being the center of attention, but I feel like knowing that she's behind you and supportive is a huge part of probably being successful. Is not because you're amazing at what you do on your own, but having that support in anything anyone does is always 1,000 times better.
Oh no, I can say with 100% confidence that everything I do is directly linked to her. Like without her, I would literally be living in a small town somewhere else, probably working a cash register, being miserable and hating my life. Is all this is thanks to her, and I'm very lucky that I know that.
You guys make my heart melt. Oh, that's so cute. I think the other phenomenal thing is your guys' wedding, which coincidentally is just a couple of days difference in mine and Jerry's wedding anniversary. I loved seeing all the pictures because all of your friends in costume was the most amazing thing ever. I tell many people when they're like, I want to have a wedding, but how do I have it and still be like us? I'm like, well, Tiffany and Robert did it. And they're and I immediately tell people about your guys' wedding because it was just the most, it was you guys and it was your day. But you also were like, hey, friends, come be you too. And I loved it so much. I always tell people about that when they're like, how do you think we could incorporate costuming in your wedding? I'm like, hang on. I know how to show you.
Oh yes. It was very tempting to go from a Halloween wedding to a Doctor Who themed wedding, but I'm glad we didn't. Just because of how much Doctor Who we had with the bride and groom party. But yeah, the wedding itself was phenomenal. I loved it. I want to do it again. I just want to get married to her every year. Just have a wedding con. Just a convention.
That's a great idea.
We'll have celebrity guests and we'll have fruit punch. So,
I like it.
And cake. Don't forget cake.
Oh, cake. Cupcakes. Oh, cupcakes. We're a DIY household. Tiffany made all the cupcakes for our wedding. I had to build the cupcake tower for our wedding, which was super fun. But also, I found it really interesting because we divided up the list of things that we had to do based on our strengths, our weaknesses, our skill sets, our timetables. And what was really interesting is Tiffany had everything done months in advance. Meanwhile, me, day before the wedding, spray painting things like, gotta get it done! Gotta get it done! Like, I try to be better, but I am so bad about waiting to the last minute. I think it's probably like ADHD or something. So it's just like everything waits to the last minute. No.
I think last minute pays off though, because I remember we were like down to the wire on mine, Yuri, and Tiffany's Ghostbusters costume.
Oh.
Because something got,
so
I don't remember what happened, but like our Dickies uniforms, like they were just like out in the mailverse, not arriving. And you were like, I'm so stressed. I don't know if I can do this. And then you presented like this phenomenal piece of work, which is another thing that she's actually cosplayed with us. We all did Ghostbusters at a theater. We did that for the first, well, I don't think it was the first showing, but it was like the first day, official day. We all went in costume and watched the movie with fellow moviegoers. And
oh yeah, me, you, and her did that, and then me and her actually went down to Panama City, I think it is. We went to a theater there, it was like a week or two later, because we found out that if you came dressed as a Ghostbuster, they gave you free stuff. We got free Ghostbuster jackets, and they're actually really nice jackets too. Got gift jackets, got movie posters, and like some little like enamel like lapel pins. So it was like yes,
nice.
So we did that. So we technically did the Ghostbusters thing twice. Yeah, actually that was super stressful for me there, because the stuff didn't come in till like later, and then like I had to sew on the patches and the stripes, and I didn't have time. Like it came down to the wire, and I literally just took it to a seamstress in town. I was like, do it, here's money. And luckily they pulled through on that for me, because that was super last minute. And then it was just me gluing and painting stuff and getting it all together for the packs. Like the packs are 90-something% done to this day. Like I still need to get yours back, and I still got to get mine and Tiffany's and like add more wiring to them. Like just the cosmetic wires that make it look busy.
Right.
Missing. But otherwise they're done. And I'm pretty happy with them, for being the budget packs they were, because they were built out of scraps I had laying around the house and things from Dollar Tree. And
I absolutely love it. Like, I couldn't have asked. Like, when you presented it to me, and you're like, I really hope you, like, you had this look on your face, like you were worried, and you were like, I really hope you like it. And I was like, oh my God! Like,
well, all I could see were the parts that I hadn't finished yet, like just those few wires and whatnot. So I'm just like, oh, it doesn't have the wires. It looks completely wrong.
Well, and I even brought it home because, Jerry couldn't go with us. I brought it home, and I was like, Robert says it isn't finished. And he's like, what's not finished about it? Like,
literally, that's it. Just some cosmetic wires. But I got that pack. I forget that I have that pack sometimes, and I'll go into our library and I'll just see like it off in the corner, like, oh hey, look at that, because I got like 2 packs in the office here, and then I have the 2016 movie packs in the library, along with a Extreme Ghostbusters pack that's completely torn apart. So there's a lot of proton packs in this house. We went off on another tangent there.
Hey, we did that. Our listeners are very aware of tangents.
Good.
Miranda goes on lots of tangents.
We just call them Mirandas, and then
Mirandas.
Yes.
Oh, I'm an expert at Mirandas.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, we were talking about me working at Michael's. This is a story I think y'all might get an amusing kick out of, and I don't even know if Miranda's heard this one. I was promoted for reasons that should have gotten anyone else fired. I literally failed my way upwards throughout the Michael's system. Because when I was working there, I was a cashier and a stock boy doing the normal stuff that you do. And I would wear the nose. I would be goofy. I would do magic tricks for kids, things like that. Which is super handy if you're trying to tell a mom how to do a project and the kid is very rambunctious, like, hey, look at this. Okay, now what you want to do, you want to go get some tool and do this and this. And the hands are doing a magic trick while the mouth is talking about how to make a tutu. I would wear the clown nose. I would juggle for people, things like that. And one day, corporate was there, and they're like, Robert, can you come in here for a minute? I'm like, hi. I was like, oh, this is it. This is how the firing happens. I walk in, like, hey, put on that nose. So I put on the nose. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And just doing my normal goofy shtick. And they liked it enough that they decided they wanted to promote me to a manager position. And it was a part-time manager position. And then, like, it continued. I continued doing goofy stuff and juggling and blah, 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 all that. All my normal stuff. Like, I never stopped doing it, even as a manager. And they wanted to promote me to full-time manager. But by then, my business was kind of taking off, and I was able to do more stuff. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm going to stick to part-time. And then eventually the business was doing so well, I was like, so.
That's awesome. I think it's amazing that, you know, like you said, normally the goofiness is not like smiled upon in a business establishment. So.
It is not. That's the behavior that should reasonably get anyone fired, and I somehow failed upwards into management. So.
Well, I'm sure you were also, you know, just really great at your job, you know, and you have a great personality. So I think that probably had a lot to do with it, you know, not necessarily just, you know, clown noses and whatnot.
I was going to say, you weren't, that was the other thing. You weren't, what I should probably let people know along with that story is that you are not bad at your job. Like you said, you would explain to people when they had questions. You would help them as best as you could. You would find things for them. So overall, yes, you were a great employee, but you were also doing what you loved most. And I think that's kind of like how you ended up where you're at now, because if you hadn't done those things at Michael's, I don't think you kind of would have, number one, having Tiffany's support, number two, having the knowledge of everything, and then three, I think Michael's kind of put you on the path of deciding, you know what, I'm doing this full time.
It definitely helped. Like, I liked working at Michael's. I had no real complaints about it. It was just, it was working for someone else doing other things, and it's like I could spend my time and energy doing things that I genuinely love, like this. So no ill towards Michael's. I still love that place. Before Michael's though, I worked at the medical center. And I liked working at the medical center, like, as far as a job goes, like, it was a good job, you know, good pay, good benefits, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, the department I worked in had a very, like, negative attitude. And from, you know, what you know about me, you can imagine how well I worked with negative attitude. So it was just me, like, kind of cartwheeling through the day, like, whee! And then there's people being very grumpy to the point of me just wanting to, you know, hide. So it was just, obviously my personality did not fit there. So it would not work at every job to be me. I just get lucky.
But you get to do what you love, and that, you know, that's rare. I mean, I don't know that many people that could honestly say that. And you obviously are very good at it, and, you know, it's just a part of you. You just, it's admirable, and it's rare, I think.
Well, thank you.
I don't think I could sum it up any better. I agree with that.
All right. Do we have any more questions, Miranda?
So usually anytime we have a guest, we do a set of rapid fire questions. Because I know you, I know what the answers to some of these things are going to be. But we have rapid fire questions, and it's supposed to be kind of along the thought of, you know, don't think, just whatever pops into your head is essentially your answer, because you know, your brain knows. So they're not complicated or anything. They're just kind of fun, like, even though we've just spent time getting to know you, but they're just kind of like extra getting to know you questions, if that makes sense.
Are you going to sing the song, Miranda?
Oh, I didn't sing it, did I? She makes me do things like this, Robert. So, it's also known when we have a guest as our segment called Getting to Know You, Getting to Know All About You.
See, that's why I make you do it.
Lord.
You sing so much better than me. Like, I have no musical talent.
That was actually really, really bad, too.
That was fantastic compared to me. I do not sing for a very good reason.
She's definitely, like, I'm not a shy person, but Jenny has me do things. I don't know how she convinces me to do it, but I do them. I do them.
Because you love me.
So, I do love you. Are you prepared for rapid fire, Robert?
As prepared as I can be.
All right. So, favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Ghostbusters.
Favorite book or childhood book?
Favorite book or childhood book? Ender's Game. Yeah, Ender's Game.
Good option. Favorite comic book character?
It's either going to be Spider-Man or Robin, like I said before. Probably if I'm going for like a main hero, it'd be Spider-Man.
All right. Favorite band or artist?
Right now, it's probably going to be Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness.
Oh, nice option. And then, if you're a podcast listener, what would your favorite podcast be?
I listen to the Dollop a fair bit. Tiffany occasionally has me listening to My Favorite Murderer. So shout out to all the murderinos that listen. Hi.
Hi.
I'm trying to think. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, unfortunately. I listen to stuff like kids entertainer podcasts occasionally here and there, but as far as like regular ones, it'd be the Dollop.
Okay. Sweet.
Also,
I listen to your podcast.
There you go.
Always your podcast. Geek and Sassy is my number one choice of all time. No matter what. Single episode.
I almost let it go, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to let it go.
I do that. Tiffany listened to several podcasts because I remember when we very first started, she looked at me and she goes, "Are you going to pop your peas?" And I said, "I promise I won't pop my peas for you." And she was like, "Oh my God."
I was thinking about that, the popping the peas thing earlier, because I don't think about it as podcasts. I think about it voice acting and stuff. So,
right. When people, I do, because that's something that will deter me, because something we talk about a lot is audiobooks. In one of our segments, because Jenny and I do audiobooks as well as read books. And that's something that we've mentioned, is that people popping their P's or, stammering, or even though we stammer a lot, but when you're reading that and like you said, in the voice acting capacity, it is kind of hard to overlook.
Oh, absolutely. I love audiobooks, but I can't really listen to them very much, though. My brain, like, if I'm not looking at words, my brain just starts to wander off on its own. So like, me just listening, just eventually my brain tunes that out, and I'm all thinking about clowns or props or Power Rangers or whatever.
You're like, ooh, ice cream. Do I want chocolate? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I feel you on that. Like, sometimes if the book's not good, or if it's in a lull point, or maybe I've just been listening for too long, I just start tuning out, and I got to pause it. I got to stop. I don't know what's happening anymore.
That's definitely happened to me a lot. Like, I love reading. It's just harder for me to take the time to sit down and read.
Exactly.
Like, last book I read, though, was awesome. Meddling Kids is a super great book. A little bit more on the adult content side, but it's very Scooby-Doo derived and fantastic. So, free plug for Meddling Kids.
Told me to get that one.
It's really good.
All right. Well, we always end every episode with something called Nerd Candy at the Moment.
Yes.
So you are participating? Yes? No?
Me? Of course.
Okay, of course.
Yay!
So, I will let you go first as the guest today. Ooh. So, you can tell us your pick, because, we kind of explained Nerd Eye Candy before we started and said, think about it. So kind of pick who you would like and tell us why. I mean, and you can be as silly or as graphic as you go a little far. So you are more than welcome to explain that in any capacity that you want to.
See, if I had to pick, or off the top of my head, probably be Kat Dennings.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's good.
She's been in several geeky things, and she reminds me of Tiffany. So.
Oh, I could totally see that. They're like just their attitude, and I don't mean that in like a bad way, as in like she got an attitude, but like just the way that they carry themselves. I could see that totally.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I watched like several seasons of Two Broke Girls. She's the best part of that show, and I really like her in the Thor movies too.
I liked her in Thor. I like her in Charlie Bartlett. Nick and Nora's Neverending Playlist. Yeah. They're all good. 40-Year-Old Virgin she was good in. And then like Two Broke Girls, I've only seen like a little bit of it, but what I've seen has been all Kat Dennings based.
Yes, pretty much.
She's very funny. Like the other girl that plays Caroline Channing is really funny, but like Kat Dennings kind of makes the show. I'm sorry.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's a great choice. And she is very gorgeous also.
She is really pretty.
She has certain assets that are,
oh, what are you talking about? I haven't noticed.
What I also like is she's like one of those people that she'll be like, we mentioned earlier podcasts that we had been listening to recently, and I said something about the girl that I listened to. She doesn't care to be like, I eat cheeseburgers and I cuss, and I think that's what I love about Kat Denning. She's like, I don't give a fuck what you think about me, and I'm going to eat this cheeseburger, and I'm going to wear this dress from a no-name person because that's what I want to do. Like, she just kind of doesn't care. Not in a bad way, though, but like in a good way of like, whatever.
Right. She has a, like you said,
right.
She has a certain sort of kind of in your face, and also I don't care at the same time. I like it. She's sassy. Let's just put it that way.
What?
Geek and sassy.
Yes.
She fits here.
All right. Who's next?
You going next.
I'm going next. Okay.
You are.
So I didn't talk about this TV show earlier because I'm only 2 episodes in, so I wanted to wait till I saw more of it. But I started watching Altered Carbon on Netflix, and it's sort of like a sci-fi show and has a little bit of a Blade Runner feel, and then also elements of something else I can't quite put my finger on yet.
I've seen the first couple episodes, and for me, it was Blade Runner mixed with every other sci-fi ever.
Well, yeah, that's probably why I can't really nail it down. But I was intrigued enough to watch the first 2 episodes, and so the main character on there, the actor's name is Joel Kinnaman, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy from Suicide Squad who played Rick Flag, right?
And I know him from
House of Cards.
No.
Okay.
Shit. Anyway, there's a new movie he's going to be, or the new show movie he's going to be in, and the lady he's in it with, they were together on this movie.
Is it Hannah?
Hang on, I'm going to find this because I was obsessed with this show that he was in, and that's when I was like, oh, damn, hot.
Yeah, he, I knew him originally from House of Cards.
The Killing.
Yeah, The Killing, that's right. He was in The Killing. But yeah, and there's a lot of sexual content in Altered Carbon, so you get to see a lot of him, and it is very nice. It is really very nice. I haven't got
to that part yet, so
yeah, he's like super tall, and usually I'm like, I kind of prefer kind of like a dad bod type thing, but and like hair, but he is like cut and pretty hairless, and but it works. It works for him.
Yeah, because he gets semi-naked in The Killing in the second episode because he's actually engaged to on the show. The girl he's engaged to, his name's Caroline, but it's Jewel from Firefly. It's Jewel from Firefly.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Yeah. That's awesome. His love. That's his love interest in The Killing. And then he is one of the main actors, and the other main. I always say her name wrong. It's like Marille Enos. Mm-hmm. She was in World War Z. She's been in If I Stay, but they are about to do that, like you said, Hannah together again. So they'll be teaming up again, both as main characters in this movie, Hannah, where they both again are going to be in a police role of some sort. So I'm kind of excited to see that because they had really good on-set chemistry as far as because they were partners. Mm-hmm. They were detective partners together, so they were really amazing in that. So I'd like to see how they do it again.
He's like super tall.
He is.
Like at least 6'6", gotta be.
I wonder if the good old interwebs will tell me how tall is Joel Kinnaman.
To the internet.
He is 6'2".
6'2"? Damn.
6'2".
Okay. He looks way taller than that to me. And I'm also kind of like bummed that he was on Suicide Squad because I fucking hate that movie. But
I don't
I'll
like
let it
it
slide.
as much as Jenny does.
My opinion is Suicide Squad is Wonder Woman's obviously the best DC movie.
Yes.
And then probably after that it's Justice League, then Suicide Squad, then Man of Steel, then way at the bottom is Batman vs. Superman.
Come on, man.
So far at the bottom.
We're going to have to fight now.
Batman vs. Superman.
I adore that movie.
I can go on an hour-long rant about everything wrong with Batman vs. Superman. I hate that movie.
And I don't hate, like, all of our friends, a lot of our friends at Place TV Nation, I don't know anybody but me at Place TV Nation that likes Suicide Squad. Everybody else is like, "Bah, bah."
I like it okay. Tiffany likes it. I think that the girl that plays Enchantress, like she seems cool. Although I saw her in Valerian and it was terrible.
But I was told that Valerian is aesthetically pleasing. That it was beautiful. Because I really wanted to watch it. It looks amazing.
A pain to watch, beautiful to look at.
Yeah, I've been told that. So I had a lot of people that was like, "Hey, I watched
Avatar.
it with the sound off, and it was great." And I was like,
I bet with the sound off, it is an amazing film. sound on, and it's...
Which bummed me because I really wanted to see that movie. It looked amazing.
Well, this was a nice podcast. Too bad nobody's ever going to hear it. I'm just going to have to delete all of this.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right. So I actually mentioned my Nerd Eye Candy earlier when Jenny and I were talking about our reads and streams and downloads. And honestly, with watching that first episode of Shoot the Messenger, which I'll talk about maybe in a coming up episode more since I've only seen one. Like, it's only had one airing.
Did that show last night?
It may have popped on last night, but I was at D&D, so I didn't watch it yet.
Okay.
It's a miniseries, so I've only watched episode 1, but I think, like you said, there's 2 out.
Okay. I honestly don't know. I just know that me and Tiffany were out and about last night, and I want to think that... or was the night before? I don't remember, but like they had it on one of the TVs, I think. I could be completely wrong though. It could have been a commercial for it. And I'm just like, hey, it's that show. And then just drifted off somewhere else in my brain. So.
Well, they're presenting it as a miniseries, so I'm checking it out and I really like it. But with that, like I was telling Jenny earlier that Alex Kingston is in it.
Oh, yeah, it was that show. That was the show.
Yeah. So I was telling Jenny, I was like, she should check it out because Alex Kingston is in it. But also in it that I mentioned is Lucas Bryant. And he was the super hot detective boyfriend on Haven. If Haven was a sci-fi series that was like from 2010, 2015, I think.
I know of its existence. I've never watched it, but I know
it's really, really good. And the music is phenomenal. Like, phenomenal music on that show. But he played Nathan Warnos in that. And in this show, he's a fellow reporter because it's about this reporter and something that she's going through. Or Shoot the Messenger is at least. Like, I've not grasped everything yet because, like I said, episode 1, they're just setting everything up. But I feel like it's going to go so much more in depth. But his name is Simon on Shoot the Messenger. And he's a little bit peppier than he was in Haven, which is kind of weird for me to see. But he's still just as freaking hot.
Also, you definitely have a type because he reminds me of Jerry a little bit. I'm like looking at his picture. I'm like, okay, yeah.
You're probably not wrong there. You're not wrong there at all.
Like that guy at Folklore last night.
Oh my God. So, okay. I know we're like gearing up an ending, but I have to tell Robert this. So we had girls' night at Folklore last night. They asked.
And I was invited?
I'm sorry. But we went to Folklore and we hadn't been there long. Our friends that were meeting us had just arrived and I look up because I was trying to see where they parked and there's a car it's a good like 20, 30 feet from me. So it's like with my bad eyesight, like I barely see, but I look at Jenny and I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, what is wrong? Cause she can tell by my face. And I'm like, duh, like, look at that guy. Cause I'm not one of those that's like, don't look. I'm like, look at that. And I swear, like from the way he was dressed, and he even has a hat that was identical to one Jerry has. So he's got on like these, and you've been around Jerry for several times because, you know, Tiffany and all of us are friends. But so the guy has on these khaki cargo shorts, a zipped up hoodie jacket. His hands are in his pocket and he's got on this green khaki baseball cap and he's like same build, same face shape and everything as Jerry. And then he starts walking towards us and he even walks just like him. And I'm like, holy crap. And Bianca's laughing at me and I'm like, no joke. For a second I went, but my husband's at work. And obviously got up close enough to me, like they were still a lot of similarities. They say it has eye color, face shape, hair color. It's just very creepy that I was like, it's possible that you could have someone in the world, especially in a local driving distance that is that close to like
it's his doppelganger, man.
It was really weird.
It was weird.
My problem's usually the opposite. Like I've been at places before and like looked over and saw this like really hot chick and be like, "Hey, she looks real good." And about a second later, I realize it's Tiffany. I'm like, "Oh,
See, this is how precious you guys are. I love you guys so much.
My girlfriend, or that's my fiance, or now that's my wife." So
adorable. You guys are adorable.
All right.
I like it.
So, Robert, where can people find you if they want to hire you, if they want you to make them a cosplay? Where are you at on social media? What's the best way to get up with you?
On social media, it's going to be Instagram or Facebook, and it's going to be Bobert The Balloon Guy. It's all one word. You can find me there, or if you want, like, I've started doing an Instagram for my cosplay called Bobert Plays Dress Up. So there's a couple things on there right now, not a lot. And also my personal Facebook is the same thing, Bobert Plays Dress Up, which probably I shouldn't have just said to the whole internet, but whatever.
Well, you can field that one. You can decide whether or not you want to like actually friend people. Exactly. Otherwise, they can like your page and message you.
But yeah, it's going to be Bobert the Balloon Guy. I try to make it easy. And you'll be able to see what I'm up to. I need to update a little bit more. I got a few ideas of things I'm wanting to do. So hopefully there's going to be more stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, because you usually post, because you mentioned earlier, and I knew that you did this, but there are nights that which I'm still kind of trying to convince you to find an Enterprise night, but we'll work on that later. There's nights that you really travel around Dothan, and you'll be at like Moe's or Applebee's or places like that, and you're there eating dinner with Tiffany, but you're also there working because you're doing balloon animals and balloon whatevers and stuff like that. It's
evolved now to where it's just doing the balloon animals. The eating dinner part is long since gone. It's legitimately a job. So I'm at Applebee's every Tuesday from 5 to 8, and I'm at Golden Corral every Thursday from 4:30 to 7:30. Although I will not be at Golden Corral this coming up Thursday. I don't know when this episode releases, though, so it may not help.
On March 8th, on my birthday, I was just thinking to myself, let's go to Golden Corral and have balloon animals made for my birthday, and that will not be happening.
Exactly. I'm sorry about that. I have other commitments that night, so I won't be there. But normally it's every Tuesday, like I say, from 5 to 8 at Applebee's. And every Thursday from 4:30 to 7:30 at Golden Corral. I look forward to having more restaurants soon. Just, the way the time of year goes. Sometimes they're slower, sometimes they're busier with the restaurants. So, keep up with my Facebook and Instagram to find out when or where I'm at new restaurants. And who knows, I may actually be expanding out towards Enterprise or Ozark for restaurants.
Yay!
I hope.
Awesome. Miranda will just be eating out every night, going wherever you're going to.
Jerry will be looking at that bank account being like, Miranda, what are you doing? I'll be like, but I'm joining the gym again. Okay?
Damn.
All right. Well, everybody pretty much knows by now, but you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Geek and Sassy, and Miranda is at Mom's a Nerd on both of those, and I am Jenny Cruz 2814 on Twitter. And let's see, a couple of things. I've been guesting on several podcasts here recently, so check out Seller's Points. It came out a couple weeks ago. Me and Russell talked about our 5 favorite comic book superhero couples. So that was really, really fun. And then I was over at the Hard Traveling Fanboys, and they are doing their rewatch of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they've gotten to Ant-Man, and I insisted on being on that show because I love Ant-Man. So they let me talk to them about Ant-Man. So check that one out. And
you got to tell them what we'll both be doing soon.
Yes. Dropping probably in a month or so. First April probably is the second edition of Comic Book Theater from the Hard Traveling Fanboys, Watchmen. So
Place to Be Nation and Hard Traveling Fanboys presents Dose
Watchmen. So it's the next 3 chapters, 3 or 4 chapters of the book. We did the first 3 the first time. So, oh boy, you're in for something different.
Because we both played a couple of different characters.
Yeah, I had more roles this time. And
we both did. Because last time I think we were only like, of course, Sally and Laurie, and that was it. And this time we are a couple of different people.
Yep. It's
with some really goofy and horribly done voices, but that's okay. I had fun.
They're not horribly done. They're expertly and wonderfully done.
Well,
actually.
mine. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't know how it sounds.
No, yours was great. Yeah, and it's a blast. Like it's crazy, but we'll give you more details, as far as dates and stuff when it gets closer to time. And of course, we will be tweeting it and everything. But boy, it sure is fun, and I can't wait to do it again. Seriously, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, as far as Geek and Sassy, I don't think that we've decided what we're going to do next, but that's fine because you guys are used to that.
We have some ideas.
We do have ideas.
They can be proud of us because we have ideas, and that is far more than we normally have.
This is true. Very true.
A goal properly set is halfway accomplished.
Exactly.
See? Great.
But thank you so much, Robert, for being on. Have you ever done a podcast before? Is this your first one?
I've done, I think, one before. I did a podcast with the Alabama Ghostbusters.
Okay.
That's been a while back. I think that's it, though. Although I would not mind coming on and doing more with you guys because I can talk about movies for hours.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
We will talk about Batman vs Superman. With
Oh,
you.
that I can definitely talk about.
Yeah. But we'll just gonna add that to the calendar now. So that
better
is the
than
thing.
Skyline, so I'll give it that.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening.
And you're welcome for talking.